What's up, everybody, and welcome to the XP Podcast, episode 15 for Tuesday, June 28th. Welcome back from our 2-week break after Summer Game Fest. We wanted to sit back and just kind of relax after the deluge of video game news. So here we are, joining you back again. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Z. Joining me, as always, my co-host, the Birdman himself, Logan B. What's going on?
Pretty good. Been a very good week. Really bad morning. Yeah, spilling coffee everywhere. But yeah, I'm excited to get back into it. It's been a while, but it was a well-needed break after all the big news we had in the past week or so.
Yeah. For information purposes, this is going to be a dual episode. We're going to be covering the last 2 weeks and be giving you some outlook on the next 2 weeks as when we take it next week off for the 4th of July. Then we will get back at you on July 10th. Yeah, the week of the 10th. Whatever the days are.
Yeah.
We'll come back the week after the 4th of July, and we will try to stay as consistent week in and week out as we can. Personal, I got some news. When we do come back next, I will start at a different job.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. On July 8th, I'm starting a new job. Going away from personal training, going back to retail. Some people may think that is a decline. I personally love retail, but got a job at Target. Start off at $15 an hour, and I'm gonna be going back. Huh?
Oh, sorry.
Very good.
I was gonna say I heard Target's. So.
Yeah, and I'm going to be going back to school shortly to finish up my degree. Don't know if I told you that or not, but yeah, that's something that Peyton and I had talked about, new, fresh, so it's a little bit of news on my end. Yeah, it's cool. I'm excited. Nervous, but I'm excited. So, and tuition, and Target gives me a little bit of tuition reimbursement, so. No more personal training, but hopefully I'll be more available for you guys in the evening. Hopefully I'll work more in the middays, at least for right now. But all that out of the way, that's just a little bit of personal. Anything new going on with you personally?
I've just been doing some crazy little things on the side. I went to a concert recently.
I saw that, yeah.
It was pretty cool. Took some photos and everything. I'll have to send you one of them. I think it was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't get to bring my actual camera with me, but I just took photos on my phone, and I got some pretty good ones. But yeah, I'm trying to get back into the groove of doing some more photography. So that's what's new with me. I'm trying to get back into it again. I really want to get out there and start taking photos. I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I don't know if this is new news or whatever, but I mean, I've had a blood clot for a while now. Good news, it's getting a lot better, way better, to the point where I can actually go walk around for a long time and it not hurt. So
well, that's good.
That's good news. So I'm really happy about that because, it sucked. Other than my, not to get too deep, but they called me about me upgrading my medicine, and then they interrogated me like I was stealing drugs. And I'm like, you told me to call you and upgrade my medicine, but okay. So that was the whole story with that. That was fun. But yeah, everything's getting a lot better. Things are going good. Hopefully some point getting a new job would be great, but I'm still on the lookout for that. But yeah, I guess bonuses, I'm getting into photography, doing some things on the side. Yeah.
You should apply to Target. We can be Target bros together.
Heck yeah.
Alright, well, let's get into it. As always, we start the episode off with a random question. This one, actually, I proudly came up with myself. Thought it was, it did have some lenience to what was going to be the point of the show, but we canceled the point of the show for this week because there are 17 news stories to get through, so I wanted to focus on those. But anyway, Logan, if you could go back and experience a game for the first time again, what game would it be? This is something I love to think about, and I'm also kind of sad. I do it a lot with movies. Like, I tell my dad, I still remember when I came out of Endgame, I'm like, yeah, that was great, but it sucks that I'll never get to watch it again for the first time. because it really is an experience. It really is something memorable, and I'll remember that movie theater experience. Same thing with Infinity War. Same thing with a lot of MCU movies, honestly. Is you'll never get that first time experience, Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, we'll never get to watch that again for the first time. But I wanted to focus on video games. So did you come up with a good answer for this? Or what do you got for me? That was directed towards you, Mr. Birdman. Okay, well, he's clearly having technical difficulties,
Oh
so...
no, you cut out for like a super long time for me.
Oh,
Sorry
okay.
about that. I
No,
was
you're good.
waiting. I was waiting because sometimes it fixes itself. It did not. So,
Well, it fixed itself now,
all right.
so...
Okay, so a game. Oop, let me turn my freaking phone off, dude. I didn't mean for that to blare in the mic. Um, let's see. If I had to have a game that I would want to go back to and play for the very first time, probably be Halo 3 again. Honestly, dude, I remember my first experience of playing Halo 3 and being absolutely blown away by that game, and the enjoyment I had with that game was just insane. So yeah, that would be. I would say Red Dead, but I kind of want to go to an old game because Red Dead Redemption 2 also was a very big deal. Um, but yeah, so I think that's what I would say would be the game that I would want to go back to and play for the very first time. I just Halo 3 was just such a big deal for me, and I still remember it vividly, but I would just love to go back to that day and play that game. That, and I'm pretty sure I played Gears of War 1 that exact same day for the first time. It was pretty crazy.
It's a big day for old Logan over there, huh?
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is... Wait, no, Halo 3 was '07. Never mind. I was going to say something. I was going to say same year, but my game that I chose to go with is the same year. There was a whole bunch of them, but I myself also wanted to go back and give something from my earlier gaming time. Because, obviously there was God of War. I would love to play that again for the first time, get all those experience and all those moments. Um, but I settled on... Now, this may be recency bias, considering we literally just talked about it last episode, but I would love to go back and play Resident Evil 4 again. Because I remember... I remember where I was, like, sitting in my house when I played those games, and, like, where my game room was situated. Because my game room has moved around my parents' house when I used to live there. I remember the exact, like, place I was and how everything looked while playing that game for the first time. And it was a massive experience. People don't understand how long of a game Resident Evil 4 is compared to normal Resident Evil games. Even someone who is...
How long is Resident Evil 4?
So my first playthrough was around the 24-hour mark or 25-hour mark. My concurrent playthroughs, so like the playthroughs that I do afterwards, to where I'm not exploring everything so much, I know where a lot of the secrets are and everything like that, is anywhere between 18 to 21, 22 hours. So it's a long game. It's not short. It is the longest Resident Evil game ever made. And it's one of the
It's pretty
longer...
insane.
It's one of the longer linear narrative driven games ever made. Last of Us Part 2 comes up recently, but that has some open areas that you can spend some time in. This game is literally one path, one area, go. Like, the map is a linear map, So it's one of the longest linear games ever made, and I think thinking back to it, I don't really think too much else can compare to it. But yeah, anyway, I would love to just go back through going through the sewers for the first time. There's always a sewer level in Resident Evil games. This one was creepy as hell with these stupid invisible bug flying things, which I cannot wait to get freaked out in the remake. That's gonna be disgusting. Fighting the regenerators for the first time and not really knowing how to fight them unless you did your due diligence, like on most Resident Evil games, and you explored the area and you read files and you picked up some papers, which then detailed and told you how to beat the enemies. So fighting them for the first time, there's all those different things. I just, yeah, I'd love to go back and play it again. Either that or Final Fantasy VII for the first time. But I was so young. That game like befuddled me when I was young. I didn't appreciate it until years later. After I played 10, I went back and played 7 and appreciated it a lot more. But yeah, so that's that. Honestly, it's a question that I think would apply to most um big budget games that I play. At least games that I finish or games that I walk through. I would always love to play something again for the first time. But that's why I don't play through. I don't replay games that often because the experience isn't the same anymore. You know.
No, I mean I feel that. Other than there's a few games where I still get that nostalgia factor from. Like again, I would say Halo 3 and Battlefront 2 Classic. Every time I go back and play that game, I get like weird flashbacks to when I was a kid playing that game.
Oh yeah, no. Like
So,
there's definitely those games like RE4, the original God of War. But like I'm not gonna go back and play. I don't know, some random game that we've played recently that we either enjoyed or didn't enjoy, whatever it will be. I'm not gonna go back and play that again anytime soon. You know.
oh yeah.
There's a lot of people who just play games over and over and over again. And that may be budgetary restraints, um, or whatever it is, but it's also to each their own, right?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
agree.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is the XP Podcast, our weekly video game and pop culture news podcast, where Logan and myself sit down with y'all and talk about all the news stories and happenings inside and out of the video game world. We post a new episode each and every week, so you can listen to it whenever your heart desires. You can find us on most of the popular podcasting services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google. If you enjoy what we're doing here, please support us over on our Patreon, where you can be a part of our weekly discussions and give us your opinions on everything we talk about and everything we don't. You'll also be able to find all of our uploads there, along with any exclusive episodes we may post. Links for that, as always, are in the description down below. However, if you don't have any money to send our way, don't worry. We still love and appreciate you for listening to us and being a part of our growing community. If for some reason you want to see us shining faces, go over to our YouTube channel where you can get this show and all of our shows in full video format. If you do, please don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you can be aware of everything we post when we decide to post it. Reminders and notifications for you guys. Coming this week will be finally a long delayed review for Horizon Forbidden West. We are going to sit down and record that. The first portion of it will be non-spoiler, where Logan, DJ, and myself sit down and talk about the game in all of its non-spoiler ways. Logan has some questions for us. He is interested in some things that we have to say. Then we will say goodbye to Mr. Birdman, and DJ and I will sit down for however long it takes and give you every single spoiler we can come up with and think about. So look forward to that. Very excited. Finally get to do it. And then, like I said, we'll be back in a couple weeks to give us the next episode 16 of the XP Podcast, where we'll go over everything that happened over the 4th of July weekend. So look forward to that. With all that out of the way, let's get into this week's shows. In the news, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about, including new information on Final Fantasy VII, Starfield, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and Redfall. We also talk about From Software's next game, Ubisoft's Lost game, and Capcom's long-awaited game, and so much more. But as always, before we get to all that, it's time for what you've been doing, where we catch up on all the things pop culture that we've been doing, whether that be gaming, TV shows, movies, books, or comics. It doesn't matter to us, because guess what? We're nerds and we enjoy it all. Mr. Birdman, Logan B., what, sir, have you been doing?
So as of recently, this may be a little controversial, but I've been going back and playing Battlefield 2042 actually. I thought, it's time. They had a big update. They added a new map. They added the two guns, which is still disappointing. And I sadly want to say I was well, not sadly, but just more like I actually was having fun. I was actually really enjoying myself. I actually think the new map is insanely good. Which is sad that I think it's probably the best map they have in the entire game right now. Um, but it is extremely cool. I think it plays very well. I love the verticality of it, where you get like there's three layers to the map. There's the bottom portion, there's the facility, and then there's the up top part, and I think it plays insanely well. It's extremely fun. I love the close quarter combat. I like that it has open environments. I love the new character's kind of fun to play, kind of hard, but also kind of fun. Like I like that you like it's I don't know if you know much about the new character, but the new operator they added, she has like a rocket launcher that you can use, and you shoot it and you can control the rocket to wherever it moves and hits things. So it's kind of fun sometimes seeing like a vehicle all the way across the map. You could shoot the rocket, control the rocket, and then when you get that kill, it is so satisfying. Um, it's yeah, I mean, I was actually really having a ton of fun. They've definitely updated the game a lot. It actually the hitboxes work correctly. The guns feel so much better. It's not as heavily away to one side of the best weapon, which was always the Bison. That was the best gun in the game for like a whole 2 3 months because everyone was using it, and now it's like every gun is actually pretty dang good and useful. Like the assault rifles are actually useful now. Everything has like it's not so one-sided. Yeah, there's a lot of people using the new weapon, but that's kind of normal for any game. When a new gun comes out, a lot of people want to use the new gun. So there is a lot of that new gun that they added in, which is basically it's like a DMR, but the more you upgrade it, you can turn into like a normal assault rifle. I've been trying it out. I've been doing the battle pass and everything. Yeah, it's actually been a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying it, and I like that they added this new playlist where it actually adds in some of the portal maps as well with 2042, and you can earn full XP. It doesn't limit you, so you can play all the old maps with the 2042 operators and still get XP, full on XP, which is great because then it adds a lot more maps. And I love some of those maps. I mean, there's only one map I don't enjoy in the portal, and that's the it's the desert map for the old World War II game, Battlefield 1942. uh it's like a desert map, but it's I don't really like that map because it's basically a vehicle heavy map. It's not really meant for infantry combat. So, but yeah, really enjoying it. Been playing that quite a bit. And
Question.
then also, yep.
So, do you think you are enjoying it more now because you know what it is now? You obviously aren't coming off the release hype or anything, and then the fall down of coming to grips about what the game is. You booted it up knowing exactly what it was, so you were able to just focus on the good parts of the addition. And by the way, we covered it last episode. Everyone said the new map was actually really good, and the additions were really good. They
Yeah.
just weren't enough, you know.
Oh no, I 100% agree. It wasn't enough. It's been 8 months and they've added one map and two guns. And one of them is not really that good. It's just a crossbow. Um, the other one's really good. I actually like the new weapon, that other one. But yeah, no, it's really disappointing that like that's all they've added. They definitely now are starting to put stuff in their store, adding in all the microtransactions and everything. I don't think they're like super bad, but I mean, I wouldn't. Well, actually, it is pretty shitty. Like they kind of overprice a lot of their stuff in the shop. Like you can't, like in normal games when you're buying credits, it kind of goes off of how much you spend. So like, let's say you spend $5, you get 500 credits. No, instead, Battlefield decided to do you pay $5, you get 300 credits. So they're doing that stuff, and I hate that so much. Like I think that's so stupid. And in most of the like if you want to get just like one of the skin packs, it's like $30. It's stupid. So I wasn't gonna buy them anyways because I don't care to. I don't play the game enough to ever want to. But I mean, since I did get the bigger edition, I got a lot of stuff anyways for free. So but yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I know what it is. I will still say there is I won't say it's not as teamwork heavy as the other games were, but I do think there's still quite a bit of teamwork in, and I don't know if it's because of the community that's playing the game or people are just working together in general. Because Battlefield community compared to Call of Duty community is completely different. Call of Duty community, which just be honest, they don't ever want to work together. There's no such thing as teamwork. It's just you are the running gun killing machine. No one else works with you. And Battlefield has usually always been the game about teamwork. Even though they took away a lot of the things, which I think again is an easy fix. All they have to do is literally separate the operators into classes again and give them specific equipment. Bam, you fixed it. It's literally that easy. I really think it's literally that easy, and it will fix the entire operator system. But I mean, I'm not a video game designer or anything, so who knows what I'm saying, But just saying it is good though. I have been enjoying it. I do find some portions of the game where people are actually really working well together and there's a lot of teamwork. So it is really fun still. I'm still disappointed in the game, but I will say I am having a lot more fun than I used to, and I think the game is a lot more optimized now. And they made some good changes. Still, a lot of negative is just like it's been 8 months and there's not really a lot of content. And I hope they're not going to drip feed us with just one map every season because that's kind of dumb. But yeah, that's
I
been
will
me playing some 2042.
I will
What?
interject real quick and say
Hmm.
that regular Call of Duty, no, there was not teamwork. Warzone
Okay,
is
Warzone.
a
That's but
bunch of
that's
teamwork. It's like
but that's
almost
battle royale
necessary.
though. Yeah,
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. I'm saying
yeah,
it's Call of Duty Warzone.
yeah. No, I got you.
That's to be fair to me. Warzone is Call of Duty. That's the only thing I'm interested in, really, other than the story of the campaign. I don't care that much about the multiplayer. The last time I played Call of Duty multiplayer was Black Ops 3, which I really enjoyed
That's
that.
fair.
But maybe we could get on some domination, because domination is the only mode that I like to capture the points. It's the only mode that I care about. Because it
Well, I
is.
hope that if you heard our last talk about what's up?
No, you're good.
Oh,
Go ahead.
oh no, no. I was gonna say, when we were talking about Warfare 2, there is one game mode which is basically they're trying to compete with Battlefield is the ground war. They're bringing it back again, but I don't really have a lot of hopes for it because the first ground war kind of sucked. But and the issue is the glaring issue is there's no teamwork, and it was also insanely sniper like oriented. No one else used anything but snipers in that mode, and it was
Yeah.
just not fun at all. The vehicles sucked. The snipers, that's all it was. And the fact that they added kill streaks to that mode ruins it completely. Because literally all people do is sit in a sniping spot, snipe the entire game, get a kill streak, and then just keep doing that over and over and over again. It's not fun. So I'm hoping with all the new additions of Modern Warfare 2, they can compete with Battlefield and actually not make it so sniper friendly and add, or maybe just add enough cover where it's not so like everyone just use snipers the entire time. But who knows? I mean, it's Call of Duty. I don't really have a lot of faith in them making Ground War 2.0 any better than the first one. So we'll see. It would be cool because they could definitely compete with Battlefield on that factor if they actually do a good job. They are adding helicopters now that you can actually have multiple people in, and you could be like a support person where you can like drop people off at points. That's Battlefield like. So maybe possibly they'll do it. But yeah, so that's been 2042 as of lately. Been playing that a little bit. Other game I've been playing, and another controversial one, the one especially for me. I've been listening to a few podcasts, or well, not podcasts, but some. Well, I guess they're in podcast form, but they're more critiques. You may know who I'm talking about, but I've been listening to some of his stuff, and he kind of got me wanting to go back and play some Assassin's Creed. I know. The Ubisoft that I hate, I'm going back and trying some of their games again, and I decided to go back and give Valhalla another try. So I've been putting I put like another 8 hours into Valhalla recently, and I've also been tempted to give all the other newer Assassin's Creed games a try because I mean they had Origins come to Game Pass recently. The new 60 FPS update is pretty cool, so it's been making me want to go back and give it all a try again. See if maybe what I didn't see something the last time I played it. So uh sadly again, well not sadly, but also just like I'm still giving it a try. I put 8 hours and I was enjoying myself in Valhalla, but I'm also not at the point where you were where you're at 100 hours. So We will
I
see
I
how I
never
feel when I get
I
to your.
never made it to 100. I stopped at 96. All right.
Okay, sorry, close
No,
enough.
no, yeah. I was gonna say Valhalla for the first 40 hours. It's great. It is a really good Assassin's Creed game. Well, it's an okay Assassin's Creed game. It's a good open world action adventure game. Should have
Yeah,
stopped. Should have ended at the 40 to 50 hour mark, but no, no, just keep on going for fucking ever.
yeah,
There's one thing I had to laugh at. So you remember a couple years ago when they said, you know what, we listened to all the complaints, we heard you guys. We're gonna not release an Assassin's Creed game every single year. We're gonna take breaks in between, release it every 2 years. So now what they've done, and people either don't recognize it or just don't care enough to call them out on it. They have the game and then just keep releasing packs for 2 years and keep releasing
yeah,
massive story expansions for 2 years. I'm like, you're still releasing games, you
yeah.
know?
Valhalla, especially, they're still adding stuff to that game. It's pretty insane. I mean, I
And
will respect them on that. I guess they keep adding stuff to it, but like,
uh,
also like, I don't know, make just work on one really big, good game. You know.
well, not big. No, no, I don't want big.
Well, not big.
Honestly,
Well, what I mean by big is, I mean like, well,
good.
make a game that like, if it is gonna be long, make it long for a reason, not just to draw out a game. Like just make a game and make it to where it's enjoyable from beginning to end, and not a whole grind fest or you having to do specific things for that. So
Yeah, like The Witcher. The Witcher's story is honestly still pretty long. It's like 50, 60 hours. I think I beat it in 80 plus hours or something like that. But I mean, the beat that to complete that game, it's fucking 200 plus hours, something like that, because of all the stuff. But I don't know. Maybe that's a bad example. You should go back and play the best Assassin's Creed, also known as Assassin's Creed 2 or Brotherhood, whichever one.
yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do that, but I don't really. I think the game, I don't really like the time period they're placed in. I just think it's boring. But that's just my probably bad opinion for a lot of people.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say I want to throw out that the Italian Renaissance is one of the most culturally diverse time periods in the history of human history, and it's
you're
boring.
right.
It's
You're
boring to
right, but
Logan.
I still think it's boring.
It's fine.
So,
One game I will tell you if you want to go back and play the new modern games. I still like Origins. I still appreciate Origins. It is 40 or so hours you can get in, get out. It is not elongated like Valhalla or like Odyssey. So I would recommend for you to go back and play some Origins and give that one another try because it still felt like Assassin's Creed. It had a lot of the annoyances of the new modern times where there's sometimes, you go to assassinate someone and because you're not high enough level, you don't kill them, which is a stupid ass mechanic in a game. But it still feels like Assassin's Creed to me, that game. The story is very Assassin's Creed. It's very focused on the Creed itself. And then in the next game, they absolutely destroy everything that they put up in Odyssey and they completely retcon all the cool stuff that happened. But that's why I hate Odyssey. So I
yeah, I
would.
also want to give Odyssey another try again too. Like I know I just have to go into that game knowing it's not really an Assassin's Creed game, the assassin part of the name. It's more just like them trying to make a Witcher. That's that's I kind of want to give it another try because I love Spartans. Like that's one time period that I really love. And I think I would enjoy it if I walk into it knowing what it is. The first time I tried to play it like it was an Assassin's Creed game, and it's not really a Assassin's game. It's more just Spartan. I mean, again, I don't know why they even named it Assassin's Creed, but uh, I think it'd be cool to give it a try again. I mean, again, I'm gonna keep playing it. Um, I mean, I don't. I mean, in Valhalla, you can still, do assassinations on people and doing one thing as long as you turn on the option and the option thing, which I did because I want to play it like the name is Assassin's Creed, so I want to be able to assassinate people. So I turn on the option where you can't fail. Like, so if you go and assassinate someone, you can't fail.
Yeah.
It's an automatic. You kill them. That's how all the other Assassin's Creed games were. So that's what I do. I try to play Valhalla stealthy, but I also do like being in combat, which I mean most games.
The combat's
uh,
so easy. I don't have to play stealthy. I just sprint right in and I kill everybody.
They did add an option in the game now where if you could turn on the leveling and you can make it to where they're always your same level, no matter where you go.
I still think the combat's
That
too easy.
I mean, that's fair. What is wrong with my throat? But yeah. Uh, but it's been, yeah, I think it's been really fun lately. Again, I will let you know when I get to the 96-hour mark and let you know how I feel at that point. But I've been really enjoying it. I've been getting back into it. They must have fixed the whole system where you can transmog your thing where you don't have to actually pay real money anymore. Because I just went in and did some transmog to some of my stuff to look more. Because when I'm playing the game, I want to look realistic. I'm probably never going to get one of those mounts that's like a bear that has rainbows on it. I think that's so gross. I just feel like it doesn't match it at all. Like it takes me out of the whole what you're in. You're a Viking. I want to look like a Viking, not look like some weird rainbow light up dude. So yeah. Other than that, yeah,
What
been
else
really
you got?
fun. Other than that, I did try Kingdoms Come Deliverance a little bit. It's actually really fun. For how boring it looks from the outside, it's actually really fun. But there are some very not game breaking, but just kind of questionable things you could do in the game, like right off the bat. Like for example, I got past the intro scene, and I like woke up from bed and I went in this room and there's this very important character and he's like, he's talking to a dude. I go in the room, it says you can't be in here. And I'm like, okay. So I stand there a little bit. I watch them talk. I walk out of the room. The dude gets up, walks to the middle of the room. He's like, must have been the wind. And I'm like, what? And I went back in there. The dude goes to sit back down. I go to kneel behind him. He gets back up, says, I can't be in here. I walk behind him, choke him out. And I'm like, okay, maybe you just choke him out. Like, this is a very important character. He shows up in cutscenes. It says, do you want to kill him? And I'm like, sure. So I killed the dude, took all of his clothes and everything, and then dumped his body by the desk, walked out of the room, kept playing the game, and I got to his cutscene, and then he just shows up in the cutscene alive. And I'm like, what? This dude's dead. How is he alive right now? So yeah, it's pretty funny. Like, I mean, I've killed like 2 people that were good guys, and it just lets you do it. And I took all their gear and everything, and then it just keeps letting me play. Like, it even says in the menu, it says like it shows like stolen things, which I would have thought it's kind of like Elder Scrolls Online when you steal stuff and you put it on, people will notice that you stole it for some reason. So I thought maybe they're doing the same thing where if I stole stuff from people and I put it on, people would notice me. No, no one gives a crap. I'm just wearing their clothes. I'm even wearing like knight's armor and everything, and they just don't care. There's like, oh, you killed one of our comrades? It's cool. And I'm like, what? I killed people. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's definitely a very difficult game. Combat's a little weird. Kind of reminds me of yeah, it reminds me of what is that game called? For Honor, with how like basically you have to like swipe at different angles and everything, and it's a lot of basically just you got to really get in and like break their blocks and everything. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna keep giving that game a try, but I'm trying to stick to one game. I've been having a problem where I'm just jumping around with games because ever since like Elden Ring and also the Order 1886, I've just been kind of like not knowing what game I really want to play right now. So I've been jumping around a lot. Battlefield's an easy one where I can just go and play a little bit and not have to be super ingrained into it. So I am going to again probably try to stick to Assassin's Creed and actually try to beat it. And then
Good luck.
if I don't like it and don't beat it, then I just move on to the next game that I want to thoroughly stick to. It'll probably be Kingdom Come Deliverance, or it will be that Code Vein game, which I did play a little bit of, and it's really fun, actually, surprisingly. And it's literally anime Dark Souls. So it's actually kind of difficult, but it's really fun too. So I'm thinking about one of those two if I don't beat Assassin's Creed. But my goal right now is I'm going to stick to Assassin's Creed and beat it. And then maybe I'll move on. Like, I've been tempted to go back to Ghost of Tsushima and actually beat the DLC. I've also been tempted to try Final Fantasy VII again, but I've kind of stopped myself from that. I'm trying to find something to stick to. It's been a kind of hard since Elden Ring. I've been really stuck to that game, and nothing really has done the same motivation like that game has for me. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much been it this week. Other than I watched the last episode of Obi-Wan, that was really good. We'll probably have a talk about that when you finish it. And I think that's been it, really. I don't think I really watched anything. Oh, I've been watching the Clone Wars again with Amy, so that's been pretty fun. I'm trying to get her to watch that entire show with me because we've been doing this back and forth where she makes me watch a show completely. Now she's gonna watch all the Clone Wars with me, so it's pretty cool actually going back and watching that show. I forgot how good it was. Like, it's just so freaking good. I love the Clone Wars. Other than that, I think that's really all I've done these last 2 weeks. Just played some games, watched a couple shows. There's some new shows that just came out recently, like Umbrella Academy season 3 came out recently. Kind of like had a very quiet launch, just kind of came out, and I'm like, oh, it's out already. Okay, so I have to watch that recent soon. And then also we got Stranger Things season 3 coming, or the last part of season 4. I don't know why I said season 3. The final part of it's coming out very soon, so I gotta finish that up. Which you highly recommend. Again, you should watch all Stranger Things as soon as it's finished. It should be finished by I think next week because July 1st is the day that they're releasing the last 2 episodes. So,
Man, I got so much shit to do.
well, whenever you have time, I'm telling you, Stranger Things, super good.
So it sounds like, considering you didn't talk about it, you are not going to be completing Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Probably not for a little bit. Yeah.
Sad. That's okay. It's a. You're not really into the Japanese RPGs, so. Other than one, you played
I mean,
one, and
Persona
it's the
5 is a
greatest.
game I want to be. You know, maybe, you know what? I'm going to oh, dang. I keep wanting to jump around to different games. I mean, I'll be Assassin's Creed, and then I'll probably either start Final Fantasy 7 or I might do Persona 5. So,
By the
it's
way,
one of
I
those two.
did want to point something out that I forgot. I listened to our last episode, and I don't know why I didn't say it. Maybe because sometimes I don't always like to flex knowledge or anything like that. I'll just let people come up to their own conclusions. You were complaining about the characters calling Cloud a soldier, and they're not calling him a soldier. It's not like, he was just a soldier. That is a branch of the Shinra military. It's like super important. Like, soldier is like what we would call a Navy SEAL. He's a SEAL. He's a soldier. That's what it is. So they're not just
Yeah.
saying like, oh, Cloud's a soldier. Like, he was a part of soldier, which is the branch or the chain of the military. It's like, when you
Okay.
yeah, it's like when you go up to like someone again in our military, like, oh, he was a SEAL. Like, that means something that carries heavy significance in our civilization, And him being a part of soldier is like a thing. They're not just saying, oh, he was a soldier. I don't know why I didn't say that last time.
That's fair.
I may have not been listening too heavily. That's my fault. But I listened to the episode and I was like, wait, why the fuck didn't I say anything about this? But so I feel like when you get back into it, know that it means more than just he was a soldier.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
definitely. I'm gonna keep giving it a try. I'm not giving up on it completely.
No, you're good. You're
I
good.
wasn't as interested at the beginning, and I guess that helps a little bit because yeah, like it just felt like all they were doing was just spamming that same phrase over and over again. It was just kind of frustrating. I'm like, I get it. Like, I think we're not 2-year-olds. We understand what he is. Like, but maybe I'll see something the more I play. I mean, again, I'm literally at the beginning of the game. I haven't really given it that much of a try yet. You even said I like basically just completed the demo.
Yeah, you can
So
play like the first 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how long it takes you to get through the reactor section.
yeah, so I'm excited to actually start getting into like the deep stuff and like getting actually into the game. I feel like I've only really touched the very top of what it is, and now I want to get into the the meat of it. So
One thing you got to know when you play JRPGs, and you know this from Persona, it's very character driven. If you don't attach to the characters, if you don't like the characters, the game is all about the characters, and the story is derived and driven through your interaction with the characters and like the storytelling of the individual characterizations. So, but that's literally my favorite part of storytelling is characters. So that's why I have such an appreciation for JRPGs mostly. All right.
That's fair.
Is there anything else you want to say? Because I actually have a lot to get through. So I've been doing a lot of gaming.
Um,
So
I don't think so. I think that's literally it for right now.
all right. Well, last episode I mentioned how Peyton and I were playing through RE3 remake. Then you know what's funny? They're not actually called remakes. They're just called RE3. Like RE4 isn't called RE4 remake. It's just called RE4. Confusing, but I
Yeah,
get it.
that's fair.
But I get it. They want this to be a new game, a new standalone game, but you can't have two RE4s. Maybe they should go the Kingdom Hearts route and go like RE4.5, you know?
Yeah. 256 days.
Oh god. So anyway, so we beat that. We had like literally an hour left, 45 minutes left in the game from the last time that on the last episode. So we finished that. Didn't go back and play through it again because there's no reason to. It's not like RE2 where there's multiple reasons to play. You honestly haven't beat RE2 unless you played the game 4 times, which is cool and
That's fair.
annoying at the same time. But I thought it was good. It sucks they took out some stuff. There's a lot of hardcore fans that are like, "Oh, it ruined the experience." I'm like, "No, it ruined the replayability because they took one of the major things they took out is at different points during the game and the original RE3, you can make decisions about where to go. A good example is, Nemesis shows up and you can make a decision to either fight him, which would start a boss fight, or you can run, which would start a chase scene and lead to a different area. And that happens about 3 or 4 times, somewhere in those range, I think. Maybe more, I don't quite remember. But that'll help out with replayability, because the next time, obviously, you just make the different decisions and you can see what you get there. This game doesn't have that. It's all linear. You don't make any decisions in this game. You just react and you play. But, it's a cool action-based Resident Evil game. Like, it's just fun. Like, Resident Evil games, the remake 2, 3, 7, they're all just fun. Well, 7's not exactly a fun game to play. Yeah, I wouldn't categorize that as fun, but whatever. You get what I'm saying. It's just an enjoyable game to play, and I love Resident Evil, so that was fun. The next game that Peyton and I played together, well, not together, I played, she watched, we started Uncharted series, and we played and beat the first Uncharted game. She really enjoyed it. I remember how agonizing and annoying some of that game is, with the platforming not being very direct and not direct. What's accurate? I guess is a better terminology for that. And then some of the combat just going on way too long, and it's like I don't need a third wave. I fought 2 already. So
I hate that part of the game.
I still love the first Uncharted for what it is and what it obviously I know it became. But I've always said that it is clearly the worst of the entire. Well, I mean, what we call it? It's not really a saga because it's 5 games. So I don't know the entire series. Yeah, but I still love it. But there was I was getting very annoyed with certain sections. I'm like, I just want to fucking get through this. Although I ripped through the game. I beat the game in 4 hours, man. That's the fastest I've ever beat Uncharted. I ripped through it because I know it's so good.
Crazy.
Yeah, it normally takes me 6 or 7 hours to beat that game, but I rolled right through it. Maybe
honestly,
it was 5.
I don't even know how long it took me to beat it in my first one. Honestly, I don't remember.
It's not super
honestly,
long.
I don't remember most of that game because I didn't really. But I liked the ending. The ending was cool. Just
Yeah.
didn't like all the rest of it.
So then, yeah, the next thing that her and I are gonna go through, I think we'll go through Little Hope next, the Dark Pictures anthology, and then we'll come back around to Uncharted 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to get through all this shit while I have time in the summer before things come up, obviously. And the later part of this year, we're gonna have things to play, and I'm gonna want to spend some time. So now I'm just kind of trying to rip through some things. And there's this little thing called PlayStation Plus, so I'm playing a lot of games on there. It's quite nice, quite enjoyable. But yeah. So the next thing I think is gonna be Little Hope, probably this coming week. Well, maybe not because we gotta leave, but we'll see. Uh, well, actually, I'm an idiot. I wrote it down here. The thing we're currently playing right now is Sackboy: A Big Adventure. We're actually going for the platinum in that game, and we've been playing that for a couple days, a couple hours a day. So, it's great. It's definitely Sony's answer to a 2D Mario or 3D/2D Mario game. But it's super fun. I think honestly, you and Amy would love it. You can play through the whole game co-op. It leads to some incredible arguments between Peyton and I because I'm much faster at platforming than she is, and I have to just stand there and wait for her sometimes. And I'm like, oh my god, just fucking jump. It's not difficult. But I love her, and she's getting a lot better. She's trying. She actually passed one of the trials while I was dead. I died, mostly because it was her fault, but still, I died, and she actually completed the trial without me, and I was very proud of her. So congratulations. Golf clap for her.
Yeah.
But no, that game's great. It's definitely a pretty game. It's beautiful. It's unique. Well, okay, it's not unique. It looks good. Anyway, you and Amy should play it, and I'm pretty sure it's cheap. I don't know.
When it's on deep sale, I will get it. Like $10. I'll get it. So
Or you could
I'm not
pay.
that excited for. I'm not that excited for that game.
You could pay $10 a month and
I'm
get
good.
it. Oh,
I don't even. I already have Game Pass. I don't another.
That's
big thing.
true,
Like
yeah.
as much as I would love to, maybe when they start adding some crazy stuff down the line, maybe. But right now it's its infant stage, so it's the same for Game Pass. I didn't sign up for Game Pass until they started adding stuff I was actually interested in, and
Yeah.
then they did. So
and also a lot of the big bangers like the PlayStation stuff you've already played and beat, So,
yeah.
but all right. So going on to now things that not Peyton and I have played. I played and beat Mafia Definitive Edition.
Oh wait, the first one or second one?
First one. Not Mafia.
What'd you think?
I mean, it's great. I mean, I love the Mafia series in general, so but yeah, I think it's fantastic. Why?
Oh no, I just was really curious because I played that first one.
Yeah.
I really liked
It's
it,
pretty
so.
janky at points.
I like the story.
Oh, the story's
Oh,
great.
yes.
But I mean the story
Very
of
janky.
the story I had already experienced, from playing the original one. Now this one, it's different. It's more expanded, I guess I would say. But some of the speeches and some of like the themes and everything like that, it's more nuanced in the remake, I would say. It's not as heavy-handed as some of the storytelling was back, but that's 2003. Like, video game narratives and story were still in the infancy of development. They weren't as good as they are today times. But I still love the original one. I still have a soft spot, even though the original game is so effing difficult. This game's not easy. I died a lot in this game, mostly because the controls are fucking stiff as a tank moving through mud.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Dude, the game's not easy to control.
It's interesting. I really liked it. I was kind of mad that I spent as much as I did on it, but I did really enjoy it though.
PlayStation Plus, let's go.
Yeah, $40 was not worth it for the game. I'll tell you that.
I will say that
I thought it was good, but not $40 worth.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great, it took me about 8 hours to beat it, whatever, I don't remember. My game time got screwed up because I left it paused for like 10 hours one day, so, I think it was like 8 hours it took me to beat it, which sounds about right. But I always forget how disappointing the open world is in terms of usage, because it's such a cool open world. It's so detailed and so realistic. And you don't do anything in it. Like I was doing some free roam last night, just getting some trophies. I'm not gonna platinum it because you have to beat the game on crushing, and I'm not about to do that race on crushing. I'm just not gonna put myself through that. Well, not crushing, classic. Sorry, or playing Uncharted. So, I'm not doing the race on classic. I'm just not putting myself through that. But I did want to get as many as the trophies I can. I went around, I found all the hidden cars. So I was driving at like 140 miles an hour through the streets, which was fun. But man, there's whole areas. Like there's a whole top area that I actually had to go to get the car. The dam area in the top right of the map. You never even approach that in the story. Like it's never even brought up, and it's actually super cool area. There's like buildings out there. There's the whole dam that's detailed. There's a whole lake. I mean, it's a super detailed world that was incredibly underutilized. And I understand why they wanted to tell a narrative, they
Yeah,
wanted to tell a story, but they wanted to have it set and make you feel like you were in this open world. And I think what they just could have done maybe is like unlock more stuff for free roam after the game so you can like engage in the world and do a little bit. Cuz like the only thing you
yeah,
can do in free roam is change your outfit and then drive around and find these cars. And yeah, I guess there's collectibles, but anyway, so
yeah,
yeah. I really enjoyed it. 8 out
yeah.
of
I was
10.
gonna say it's that's the same issue I had with the game. It's just like I got excited because a lot of people on YouTube are like talking about all these new additions. They're updating the open world stuff, and I know now that it was basically one big set, but man, it did kind of disappoint me because like they just added some stuff to do, and like especially with like I agree, there's a lot of stuff even in the outskirts in like the farmland areas. There's a lot of stuff out there that you don't really get to see or do anything with, but
Yeah, it's
yet
like half
it's
the map.
there. Yeah, it's so weird. Like they made this big map and they don't even utilize it all. It's just there. And it's like it's really weird. Like I don't know, like it's like you made this awesome looking open world, which I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed they didn't come out with any next gen upgrades for that game because it literally came out like towards the end
Yeah,
of
came out
PlayStation 4 and
it came out
Xbox One.
September of 2020. Like
Yeah,
2 months before, and it
yeah.
runs at
And
30.
if they came out with a next gen upgrade, dude, just imagine how good that. But it just yeah, I agree. It just like it makes me like especially some of the missions where you can like kind of walk around and do it however you want, like that hotel mission.
Oh, the whole time
Um
mission's so cool, dude.
yeah, it was so cool. And now it's like it makes me wish that they like added stuff to do. Like, like I don't know. And I know this kind of sounds very Ubisoft like, but like I don't know, just add some events where it's like, okay, hey, I need you to go to this business and get some money, or oh hey, can we do this like there's just the rival gang, they're doing stuff. Can you go kill them or kill the leader and stuff like that? Stuff would be so cool. I mean, it's basically what Mafia 3 did. But Mafia Three's world wasn't as interesting as
Mafia
Mafia
3
One.
sucks, dude. Don't
Yeah,
even
but
at me. I hate Mafia 3 so
no,
much.
Mafia 3 is very disappointing, and the fact that I think the open world is just not exciting. But I think that the events, if they did them right, it would have been extremely fun. Maybe they do something like Ubisoft does, where they have like leaders or stuff that you have to take out, not like assassinations in a whole tree, but some kind of like, or maybe Wildlands, I guess is a better example. Like do something like Wildlands, where literally you have to kill these leaders and stuff or do stuff to do that, or kind of like Far Cry 5 where you have to kill and do a certain amount of stuff to kill this leader. Stuff like that would be super cool to do like in a mafia game. Like I've always wanted like a GTA mafia game. That would be super cool, but
I don't know if I
we'll
want
probably never
that.
get that.
I think I really just wanted more stuff to do or a reason, like maybe some side quests. I don't really want any open world stuff. I just wanted a reason to explore the map a little bit more. I don't really know sitting here talking what or how that comes to fruition, like what that looks like. But I just think the world is like super interesting. Like there'd be times where I'm going over the bridge and you're going into the downtown area. I'm like, man, this feels something. Like I feel something. Like this world is very detailed. It's just nothing to do, which I get it. Again, the game is about the story. That's what they made the game for. It's about the narrative. So is the second game. This second game had the same problem where there's not really anything to do too much. They did expand on it a little bit in Mafia 2, which I started last night. And but overall, I think Mafia Definitive Edition is a great game. I would give it an 8 out of 10 as a non-detailed, in-depth review. Um, I think the biggest problems are pretty much some outdated controls and yeah, the open world feeling a little blah. But I think the shooting feels good. It's difficult. The shooting is very akin to Last of Us shooting, to where like you pull the trigger, and the next shot you have to re-aim. You have to get the aim again. You can't just spam Call of Duty shots and just hit your target 18 times in a row. That's not how that works. Um, And I think the sense of time and place and the time period they nailed spot on. You really feel like you are in the 30s and the 30s. There we go. I almost said 40s, but that's the next game. So, and I think the best thing, the coolest addition that they made was adding Vito and Joe at the end of the cutscene, the epilogue cutscene. So that was really cool. I wasn't expecting that. Because in the first Mafia, there's just two random dudes.
Really, I didn't even know that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played the original, but I played that one, and I heard it was super good, and it is really good. I'd probably give it a lower score than you did. I'd probably, I'd probably be in the middle between 7 and 8. I'd say 7.5 out of 10. Or if I had to just go down more, it'd just be 7 out of 10. I think it's good, but just yeah, I don't know. It's just like you would think if you update the game, you would add a lot more to it, but I don't really feel like they added much other than just updating the graphics to look really good and updating a little bit of the gameplay. It's not exactly the same from what I've seen, but
Oh, it's
it,
actually massively
it's
different.
not.
it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's it's
So
not even close.
yeah, but it's still just like it's a little disappointing to play, especially for the price. I don't think it was worth $40. I think it was probably $30 I would have spent, maybe even less. But yeah, I mean, I think it was cool. I want to play Mafia 2, but I already know I'm going to get disappointed with that too because the world again is probably going to be super cool looking and nothing to do in it, which I don't know. That's why I got to give Mafia 3 just I mean, I know Mafia 3 isn't great, but at least Mafia 3 have something to do in the open world. Maybe I don't know. Hopefully Mafia 4 they update and do new things because supposedly that's been announced like a long time ago and they've been working on it. So if Mafia 4 does come out, hopefully they do something a little bit more exciting for their open world because they make these cool open worlds with cool stuff. Like Mafia 2, one of the coolest details I've ever seen that I wish GTA will do at some point is I like that if you go into a store and like you shoot up and stuff, like they will literally make crime scene tape there and they'll have like investigators and putting things where things happened. Like that's super cool. Like that's no other open world game does that. That's just super cool. It's a small detail, but I think it's really awesome and it adds to the whole world and everything.
Uh,
But yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
it. Sorry.
You're really bad at ending things, so it always confuses me. I don't know if you're done talking now. Anyway,
No.
next thing I've been again keep exploring PlayStation Plus. I'm still working on the Ape Escape Platinum. And then I started the Mark of Cree, which is an old PS2 action adventure game. I forgot how awesome that game is. I'm enjoying it. I'm about 3 out of the 6 levels in, so I guess I could have just said halfway. I'm halfway through that. Also trying to get the platinum on there. It's pretty achievable platinum. So then I don't know if you were paying attention to the group chat, Logan, or the Snapchat. I had to fix my DualSense. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, even before you put it on, it looked pretty ugly. That silver thing.
I've gotten
But
a lot used to it. A lot more
oh, you
used
still
to it
kept
now.
it on?
Yeah, it's still on there. Yeah, I've gotten a little bit used to it. It looks really good at night when like things are reflecting off of it and I'm playing. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But no, so what happened is there's a spring in the trigger button. I mean, there's a spring in every single trigger button. But apparently the DualSense has a design flaw, which everything has a design flaw. But in my mind, this is kind of a shitty design flaw. The way they designed their spring keeps constant pressure on the trigger, so it's more susceptible to just breaking, and that's what happened to my R2. The spring just broke, and it wasn't there, so I had to go in and fix it, which was cool. I got to like open up the DualSense and look around there. I like doing that kind of stuff. And then I said after I fixed it, after I put the new spring back in, which was a test of my patience. It only took me like 5 minutes, but man, it felt like it was 6 hours to get that spring in there, because you had to bend it the opposite way that it was like manufactured to create the tension. And I don't think you realize how big this spring is. It's I don't have a reference point. It's very small, this spring. So I had to like
Yeah.
get tweezers and a combination of my hand. Eventually what I did is I like dug the end of the spring into my finger, so it was like cutting into my finger, and then I moved it into the place that I could because I could bend it freely. That's the only way I could think to do it. Oh, I
Jeez.
have a good reference point. This spring is a little bit bigger than a staple. That's a good reference
Wow.
thing. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
small. It's very annoying, but I got it in there and now it's fixed. So, but it's probably break again. But the good news, I got like 10 replacements, so I can fix them when they need to. But and then I just got a couple things left. Peyton and I last week went out and saw Jurassic World Dominion.
And how was it?
I can say that it's better than Fallen Kingdom. It's also not hard to be better than Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
But its movie was still kind of a disappointment, man. It didn't do anything egregiously bad. It didn't have any terrible scenes. Like I think the entire third act of Fallen Kingdom is a pretty terrible act. I think turns into a pretty shitty movie. This one doesn't have anything like that. It's very um Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and its pacing and everything like that. You know, everything takes place in uh, like how do I want to explain? It's like a Jurassic World area, um, a Jurassic Park area. So tonally, it all makes a lot more sense than the second movie. But I said it doesn't do anything egregiously bad, but in the same thing, there's only really one standout scene that I saw from a conceptual standpoint that was planned well, executed well, filmed well, and just got it really hammered home what that scene was trying to do. There's really only one scene that I think is actually done to a degree higher than adequate. So, and it's just kind of I don't like saying this because it's kind of it feels negative, but like the movie's just dumb. Like there's just dumb decisions made. Like I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's not really that big a deal. There's a scene where two characters are backed up in this hallway, and there are these flying things that are preventing them from getting out of this hallway, and they're like trying to fight them off. So what they do to get out of this hallway is Claire runs through the swarm with no weapons, picks up a weapon, runs back to the end of the hallway, hits something, and then fights her way through. I'm like, that was the stupidest scene I've ever seen put to film. She ran
That
through
makes no sense.
she
What?
ran through the blockade, got a weapon, ran back through the blockade, and then fought her way through the blockade. I was like, what the fuck just happened? I'm like, that was stupid as shit. And I just laughed. And it was at that point where I was like, all right, this movie makes no fucking sense. And it is the most fan fiction writing of all time for a Jurassic World. You know, everybody comes back. All the big players are back. It is Avengers Endgame of the Jurassic World. Let's cheer and let's hoot and holler. And it was cool, but it's like, yeah, it's fine, I guess. I left the theater happy that I knew that the series was kind of going away for a while. Because, you know, they have said there's no plans for the next ones. This is the end of the saga, whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, good. Let it go away for 10, 15, 20 years, forever. I don't want another one or anything like that because it seems just like you make a great first movie and then you can't do anything with it afterwards. It's happened
It seems like
in both trilogies. You know, Jurassic Park 1, great. Lost World, pretty crappy. Jurassic Park 3, very crappy. Jurassic World, pretty great. Not as good as Park, but good. Fallen Kingdom sucked. Dominion, not as sucky, but still pretty bad. It's like, just maybe make one-off movies from now on because you're good at those.
it seems to be any time now they bring back any classic thing, they just do the same thing. Star Wars, Force
Yeah.
Awakens, good. Then they made an absolutely crappy movie, and then the last one for me personally was all right. It was average,
Yeah.
but it wasn't as bad as the second one. Same thing for Fantastic Beasts. Fantastic Beasts 1, not a horrible movie. I thought it was pretty good. Second one was absolutely horrible. And third
Garbage.
one is average, but also now that Amy told me a bunch of things, I think a little bit worse of it. And then they did this for Jurassic World. They came out Jurassic World 1, amazing. And then they came out the second one and they teased us with, I mean, I'm not going to lie, the trailers just kind of made me think a whole different thing and then they ruined it. I think the second one was just horrible.
It's a
And then,
Monster House movie.
yeah, like
It's literally
it just
the
makes
live action remake of Monster House.
well, it just makes me so mad because like literally the trailers kept teasing that they're going back to the island. And they did, but very, 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 very tiny part of the movie they did. And it kind of disappointed me because I was like, oh, this is super cool. There's going to be a big story about them going back and they were going to show a lot more. No, it was a very short part of the movie. And then it was just over. And I'm like, really? That's it? Like, what? And then, yeah, the stupid monster house thing at the end was just so dumb. And yeah, I mean, I'm not excited to see the last one, but I am gonna go see it. I probably won't see it in theaters, but I'll probably see it if it comes out somewhere like maybe HBO Max, which it probably will. So I'll probably watch it when it
I
comes there.
I will say this: the people making the movie care. Like the director cares. Like I watched some behind the scenes stuff, and he really, really loves this franchise. But he just didn't make that great of second and third movie. Like he made a great first movie, but his second and third movies just weren't good in my opinion. Again, Dominion is much more watchable than Fallen Kingdom because I think Fallen Kingdom is essentially a farce of a movie. I do not like Fallen Kingdom in any retrograde or retrospect or whatever, however you want to say it. Like I just think it's a joke of a movie. It has one effective scene, and that's when they're leaving the island. You know, it's the Brontosaurus scene. Everyone knows
Yeah, and it
that
was
scene.
so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only truly effective scene, which is very parallel to the way that Dominion works, where it has one very effective scene and what it's trying to do. But the difference is the rest of Fallen Kingdom is a steaming pile of horseshit, where the rest of Dominion is a cold pile of horseshit. It's not as
Yeah.
egregious. No. Again, like I said, there's nothing terrible in Dominion. There's just also nothing good short of that one scene. Now there is a chase scene set in a city that's pretty cool. Had me on the edge of my seat. Had me engaged towards the beginning of the movie. But then my biggest complaint with the end of the movie, outside of that one really stupid hallway scene that I still just laugh at, because I when it happened, like literally I just shook my head and looked at Peyton and was like, "What the fuck was that?" I was like, "Okay, so there's no danger here at all. Got it. These things that have been built up as the big bads of the entire world can just be sprinted through. Understood? Cool. Here we go. Let's watch the rest of this 20 minutes." But I think the whole finale of the movie is just it's shot and it's framed and it's just weird. It's like there's this huge scene with the Gigantosaurus, whatever. I forgot the name of it, but it's like a new, well, not new, it's an actual dinosaur that existed, but it's new to the series of being on screen. It's like a Gigantosaurus or something like that. It shows up and it's like they're trying to mimic, like, the first sighting of the T Rex in Jurassic Park. And just the whole time, I'm like, man, I don't feel any tension here at all. And I probably should, because
Yeah.
that's what the scene wants to me. And then, like, they do the thing where uh both characters say, "Don't move." And I was like, okay, cool. And then what they do, they immediately back up and walk around a car. And I was like, well, okay. But then what was weird is the dinosaur had no reaction to it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm so confused. And then the entire rest of the scene, they just kept like moving around. And the dinosaur was like looking for them. I'm like, they're right fucking there in front of you, stupid. And then eventually he like went out and attacked them. And I was like, oh, okay. So now you decide to do something. And then the rest of the movie is kind of like those scenes where it's like, they're trying to do something, but the way it's executed, the way it's shot, the way it's filmed, the way it's cut together, the editing of the end of the movie is fucking psychotic. It's like someone just every 10 seconds, like, every 3 seconds, like, gotta have a cut here, gotta cut here. Oh, we've been on camera for 0.5 seconds, cut. It's just all over the place. So, man, I really painted a good picture with this movie, huh?
Yeah, it makes me really excited to go see it.
Yeah, well, I went to the mall theater, so I didn't pay a lot to see it, but and then we were gonna go see Lightyear, but I've heard some really terrible things, so I'm deciding if I want to spend money to go watch it or not. So
Oh, I honestly was just planning to wait till that comes to Disney Plus. Like, I mean, I'm kind of excited for it because it looks pretty cool and it looks interesting, and I'm not gonna probably look up any people's opinion because I don't know. I just want to kind of see it whenever it comes out and see what I think. But yeah, I kind of got a little confused with this. Like, I didn't really look at the details, but I remember seeing the trailer, and for some reason, I thought it was a show and it ended up being a movie. And then even more confusing is I didn't know the movie was coming to theaters. I thought it was strictly just going to come to Disney Plus, like they've been doing for a couple other movies
Oh, yeah,
from Pixar.
you were very
So
confused, sir.
yeah, I was, and so it threw me off. Lightyear. Wait, what? It's in theaters. Like, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't look that interesting that I would want to go see it in theaters, but I definitely will probably watch it when it comes to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it though, a little bit.
I mean, I'm
Like,
still
I mean, I'm not
excited
like
for
super
it.
pumped, but it looks cool. So
I'm excited for it. I don't know. Maybe I'll let the reception kind of get to me a little bit. I was very excited about it, and I was all gung ho. And then, like, we didn't go see it on the day because we were going to go see Jurassic World and Lightyear together, but the day kind of ran long, and we didn't end up doing that. So, but then, I let it sit for the next week, this past week, and I'm like, I don't know. Do I want to go see it? I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know, obviously, next episode if I went to go see it or not. So, because I'm pretty sure after that, I'm not going to go see it. Okay, final thing. Like, you watched Obi-Wan. I watched episode 2 and 3 of Miss Marvel. And like I said before the show, we were talking. I personally think the show is great because it is a very me show. It's very much up my alley in terms of some of the themes that I enjoy. The whole power set changing doesn't really bug me because it's still visualized in a very similar way. It's just different from how she does it in the comics. But it also connects it in the same way. It connects it to the MCU in a more interesting way than it would have been if they just represented what the comic powers were. So I guess there's give and take in terms there. But I'm kind of indifferent because I really haven't read a Miss Marvel comic, so I don't really care that much about her history. I've only played the games, so it's like, so it's not the same. I just kind of shrug my shoulders and move on with life. It's like, whatever. It is what it is. It doesn't bother me too much. Maybe I'm being slightly hypocritical there. I probably am. You can probably go find an excerpt of where I said the exact same thing for the opposite thing, but who knows? I don't care. That's it for me. I told you there was a lot.
yeah,
Yeah, I beat 3 games. Halfway through another one. I'm halfway through 3 more. And I fixed the controller. There we go. That was my week. You got anything else? That was my 2 weeks, I guess. Anything else?
I don't think so. I don't think there's anything else really that's been super crazy that's been going on.
Alrighty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was What You Been Doing, where Logan and I sit down and talk about everything that we've been doing, video games and or pop culture related. Or honestly, anything we want to talk about. Like I wanted to talk about fixing my controller because it was a pretty fun experience. Sucks that it happened. But, so, I lost my train of thought. Here we go. Yeah. If you guys have anything that you've been doing that you want to tell us about, please go to the comments, go to our Patreon page, let us know, and we will talk about them with you in there. Now we are moving on to Around the Point, which is our news section. We have a long thing to get through, 17 news stories to get through. Some of those are multifaceted. So sit back, strap in, and let's get to talking. Earlier this week, I guess earlier last week, Final Fantasy VII had an anniversary showcase celebration. And I can tell you without shadow of a doubt, Mr. Logan Birdman is, we got the Sonic anniversary. I think we got a Street Fighter anniversary one, maybe. I don't know. We've had multiple anniversary showcases, and they've all sucked. This one was fucking fantastic. I don't know if I could have done this one different. Maybe take out the mobile games, because, like, whatever. But, this thing gave me what I wanted. Gave me something that I prayed for that I didn't think I wanted, and gave me one of the mobile games that I actually think is kind of a cool idea. But did you probably obviously maybe you watch this? I don't know. Did you watch it?
I seen some of the trailers and
Okay.
I was absolutely confused, but yeah.
Well, I mean, if you've never played the games, then you'll get there. So
Yeah.
I will walk you through this. So what happened here is they started
Okay.
off. Final Fantasy VII Remake finally getting announced for Steam. It was exclusive to Epic Game Store. Came out not day and date, but the next day. Still no Xbox, so don't know what's going on there. Maybe apparently the exclusive rights was a lot different than what we thought. There's a rumor out there now that during the exclusivity deals that was signed, pretty much Xbox won't get it until the entire series is completed and redone. There's a rumor out there. I don't remember who
That's
said that,
fair. I could
but
see that.
so yeah, this game, Rebirth, and then the finale, and then it'll come to Xbox, which is kind of weird, but whatever, fuck it, right? Um, then they went into the Final Fantasy mobile game section, and they started off with a game that I didn't even know people cared about, but I did some research, and apparently people enjoy it. Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier is a battle royale game set in the Final Fantasy universe on mobile, which sounds like the worst conceptualized idea of all time. But apparently, there's people out there that like it. If you are those people, good for you. I'm glad you like it. Keep playing it. Keep supporting it. I'll never see you there. Uh, the second mobile game, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, is a really cool idea. It's essentially a remake in a very close visual style to the original game, but it combines the story of Crisis Core and Final Fantasy VII together into one game. At least that's what it appears like. We get scenes from Crisis Core in Ever Crisis. So that actually seems like a really cool idea, and I hope to God it comes to PC or console so I can play it, because I'm not playing this on my phone ever. Like, I'm just not doing it. I don't play games on my phone. I refuse to do that. So no word yet on a console release, but a console or PC release, but I'm hoping they make that happen some point down the road. And then we got the fucking bangers of all bangers. One of them we were pretty convinced we were going to get. The other one we had no clue. They announced a Crisis Core fucking remake, and I lost my shit, Logan. I lost my shit. We had heard rumblings, like very vague rumors, like a week before this came out, that we might be getting a Crisis Core remake, but that was like no effing way. And not only is it away, they announced it for this winter. Now, whether that means this year or early next year, no one knows, because winter technically carries December through March, I think, and then spring starts in April. I don't know how seasons work, but this game is. I just couldn't believe it. I don't know what to say. I was a loss for words. I was like, well, they're actually doing it. Sweet. So Crisis Core, if you don't know, Logan, is the prequel to Final Fantasy VII and details the background of Soldier and the different players in the game, like Zack, like Sephiroth, like Cloud, and like there's one other character that I can't remember his name, but he's a shitty character anyway, so it doesn't matter. But this is the prequel to the game, and there's actually involves scenes that you see in Remake. Do you get what I'm kind of saying here? Are you still with
So,
me?
like, wait, what is it?
It
So
is
is it
a
like a remix?
No,
Is that what it is?
it's a prequel to Final Fantasy VII. Crisis Core came out on the PSP, and it's a sequel, or sorry, a
Oh,
prequel to Final Fantasy VII that details the history and the background of the main players, especially Soldier, the group Soldier, Sephiroth, and it essentially details his journey to the dark side, if you wanted to put it in Star Wars form, and it details what his goal is
okay.
and how he's going about it in Final Fantasy VII. You get your main character is Zack, who well, I can't really say too much because you haven't played the games, but Zack's a person. You have run-ins with Cloud, and it details some of Cloud's background and how he got to the point of where he was in the beginning of Final Fantasy VII. And then it details another character that I can't remember his name, but he sucked. He was a shitty character anyway, so it doesn't matter. So Crisis Core is a really cool game. Um, and I can't wait to play it this year. Hopefully, maybe next year, because they said this winter, and like I said, who knows when that is. And then they finished with the game that we all were hoping was here, we all expected to be here, and it was here. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is essentially Remake Part 2. And I can't talk too much about how cool everything that they showed here is without spoiling the coolest story aspect of Remake. But essentially, what we all thought was happening in a remake is confirmed to be happening in a rebirth, and it's fucking awesome. Because without spoiling things, the story of Final Fantasy Remake is not one for one the story of Final Fantasy VII. It's there, but there's a major difference that I can tell you once you play it.
Okay.
So, if you want, I'm about to fucking blow your mind. I'm about to go Kingdom Hearts on your ass. If you want to get the whole story of Final Fantasy VII, you need to play Final Fantasy VII, the original one. You need to play Crisis Core Remake when it comes out. You need to play all 3 parts of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Then you need to watch the movie Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, which takes place. It's a sequel to Final Fantasy VII. If you want to understand the entire breadth of the story that is now being told, that's what you got to do. So have fun, strap in, ladies and gentlemen. If you like Final Fantasy, there you go. But man, let me tell you what. Square is pumping out some games because they announced Crisis Core Remake this winter. Final Fantasy 16 is coming next summer. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth next winter. I'm like, that's 3 Final Fantasy games in the next 18 months. That's not a very Square thing to do. Square takes... People forget, Final Fantasy 7 Remake was announced in 2015 and came out in 2020. Like, it took forever to make that game. Oh, no, sorry, it was announced in 2013, re-announced in 2015. Square takes a long time to make video games. But not anymore, apparently, so... If you couldn't tell, I was very excited by all this. I nerded out and I watched all kinds of videos. I watched Maximilian, who is a huge Final Fantasy guy. I watched like 4 of his videos and just doing all my research and all that and catching up on everything. And I just gotta tell you, dude, Square is doing the Final Fantasy VII remake like all remakes should. It is a representation of the game that came before, but it is its own thing. And I think that's the most brilliant thing that Remake, or now Rebirth, or Part 2, whatever you want to call it, is doing. It is there, the story, and it still matters. But this is not just a prettier version. This is an entirely different game that's doing its own thing with the context and story of Final Fantasy VII. And I think it's brilliant. Got anything?
Not really.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not as excited as you, but again, maybe I will after I play more Final Fantasy VII.
I do want you to just try to get through it because I think it is absolutely brilliant what they're doing with it, and I think it deserves to be played. But I also understand and get it that I'm coming from a point that, Final Fantasy VII is one of the games that made me the gamer that I am today. So it holds a very different place in my heart than it does for someone like you that's only recently got into JRPGs through Persona 5, which is probably the greatest JRPG ever made. So it's hard to kind of step back from that and play the rest of the genre. Now, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake is a phenomenal video game. Is it as good as Persona 5? Probably not, but they're 2 very different games. But they still are a part of the same genre, so... And I just want to nerd out with you for a little bit about how cool the story is, and I want to get in all the nitty-gritty with you. But if I don't get a chance, then I don't get a chance, and it's fine. Things happen in life, and not all the things that happen is what you want to happen. So, do you have anything else on the anniversary celebration?
No, not really.
So, I will say, you compare this to the Sonic anniversary that happened last year, again, night and day. This actually was a celebration of Final Fantasy VII, whereas a Sonic celebration wasn't really a celebration. Or like the Assassin's Creed one that just happened. The celebration that was just 10 minutes of them telling us, hey, we'll see you in September. And then a 2-hour stream of a game that finally got an update. Man, what the hell happened with that? Like, what the fuck? How is that a thing? What I just explained to you.
What thing?
Man, you don't listen to me at all, do you, ever?
Sorry.
Assassin's Creed anniversary.
Are you talking about Oh, I know. Yeah.
Alright, well, we're going to move on now to the second piece of Final Fantasy news. Final Fantasy 16 director sat down with some outlets and had in-depth interviews, and we got some new news and updates from those interviews, and I want to tell you guys about them because I'm excited and I love Final Fantasy 7. So the first bit of news that we got is the fact that there will in fact be party members and there will be combat summons, which you all knew the fact is, but he says in the interview, we didn't want to overwhelm users in our newest trailer, so we focused solely on Clyde's battles. That said, for most of his journey, Clive will be accompanied by one or more companions, Yoshida says. These companions will participate in battle as well as trade banter with Clive. That said, the party members will be AI driven so as to allow players to focus solely on controlling Clive, which makes sense because this is a much more action based Final Fantasy game as opposed to a turn based Final Fantasy game or a active time battle, which is what Final Fantasy VII was. For what Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 was. So, he went on to explain that most people thought this was going to be an open world game, and he refuted that and said, to bring a story that feels like it spans an entire globe and beyond, we decided to avoid an open world design that limits us to a single open world space and instead focus on an independent area based game design that can give players a better feel of a truly global scale. And in another interview, they likened this to a Pokemon Arceus type thing where you have, oh, it's going to be bigger than that, but you have open areas that take place all over the globe instead of just one limiting area, limiting quote unquote, of an open world. And finally, we got some confirmation that the puppy that was in the trailer does have a name, and he may actually be a party member. Yoshida says, well, let's just say he's more wolf than dog, and his name is Torgal. As for him being a party member, you'll just have to wait and see. So, all of this probably makes zero sense to Logan or why I'm excited about a puppy name, but man, it's Final Fantasy. It's you just gotta get it, man. Like the animals' companions are an important part. I mean, okay, you get it. You played a game with a sentient cat. Like, you get it. It's important in JRPGs, you know?
That's fair.
Anamorphic companion animals are an important part of the JRPG genre, and they exist in all the best ones, in my opinion. So anyway, all this being said, dude, I can't wait for Final Fantasy 16. Everything that he has said here, everything that he talked about here seems like it's just going to be a great Final Fantasy. Will it be the greatest Final Fantasy of all time? I don't know. That's a lot to live up to. But it seems like everything that he's saying here is just perfect, and I can't wait. There was also more updates later on throughout it, but those were the big three that I wanted to focus on. So for those of you out there that are as excited for Final Fantasy 16, I think you're in good hands. So that's sorry, I got distracted reading something. That's good for those people. I think we're in good hands. I think Yoshida is going to make a fantastic game. I think he cares a lot about the franchise, and obviously we see that in his team's other game, Final Fantasy 14, which is essentially a love letter to everything Final Fantasy. So I am solely convinced that this game is going to be incredible now. Or if not incredible, it's simply just a great video game that I'm going to love. Everything that they've said, everything that I've seen convinces me of nothing else other than this is going to be a great to phenomenal Final Fantasy game. And honestly, I think you might enjoy this more because of its action-heavy based gameplay, because of it being kind of like an open zone, and you liked that about Arceus. Like, I actually think you might enjoy this game quite a bit, and maybe, hopefully, this might be your gateway into Final Fantasy in some retrospect, you know. And then maybe you go back and play 15, which is kind of... I mean, 15 is very different than any other Final Fantasy game, but it's fine. What do you think? What do you think about some of this news?
Possibly. I don't know. I'm very skeptical again. Who knows if I'll even like Final Fantasy 7, which I mean, is that not really action packed? I guess, like, because I mean, I guess it seemed kind of like it, but
So
it's not like
it is,
hack
but
and
it's
slash exactly. It's more like, you hit a few buttons, and then like if you want to do abilities, you have to go through a menu system, and then like hit the ability on there.
yeah. So what
So
it's
I mean, is this one gonna? I'm sorry. Go
no.
on.
So what the system is called? It's called Active Time Battle, also known as ATB. So it's something that they introduced in Final Fantasy 7 and used in Final Fantasy 8, and I believe was in Final Fantasy 9. No, Final Fantasy 9 was strictly turn based. It's been in some of the games. It was in Final Fantasy 12 as well. So it's essentially like a morphine of real-time combat and turn-based combat, because like you are always doing something, you can always move, but you have to wait a certain amount of time to be able to perform an action. and that's what that ATB gauge is. It fills up, and then you can perform another action. And in Final Fantasy VII Remake, you can actually attack while that gauge is refilling, which is different than OG Final Fantasy VII, where it was just you couldn't perform an action until that bar filled up. But in Remake, they made it a little bit more action based, but it's still considered a hybrid between real time and turn based. And in this game, it's just full on real time, to where like
Okay.
you're initiating the actions that are more akin to something like a Devil May Cry or a God of War, you know, anything that you like. You press a button, something happens. You know,
Okay.
no response, just okay.
I mean, I don't really know. I mean,
Yeah, I understand.
I'm still not like
You're
super pumped
hesitant.
for it. I mean, there's not really a lot I can say. I mean, I guess I'll see when it comes out and see what it's like, but I'm still probably going to be very skeptical on it because I mean, it really just depends. Like, if I don't like one kind of storytelling from Final Fantasy VII, would I like, and that's supposedly the top of the top, would I like the new one? That's where I would be kind of questioning. Like, it really depends.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing about Final Fantasy, in my opinion, the best thing about being a fan is if you didn't like the one that came before, don't worry, the next one's probably going to be totally different. That's
That's true.
the same style of game in terms of JRPG, but story, setting, world design, even sometimes the combat just changes game in and game out. Like, you know, you look at Final Fantasy VII Remake's combat is different than Final Fantasy 15's combat, is different than Final Fantasy 14's combat, is different than Final Fantasy 16's combat. So it's like each game is its own thing. If you didn't like one, just wait for the next one and see if you like that one. That's honestly the reason why I love the franchise so much, is because I don't love every single game that I've played. I'm actually not a huge fan of Final Fantasy 12, which is an absolute travesty to be a Final Fantasy fan and not like 12, but I did not like the more RTS style combat that was in that game, to where you press the attack button, and then your character just attacks, and you just kind of watch it happen. It's more akin to like some of the older BioWare RPGs, where you don't actually have control over the entirety of the tech phase. I don't love that, and then I'm not a big fan of 8 either, which most people love 8, but I don't like the characters too much in 8. So, but like I said, if you don't like one, just wait for the next one. That's honestly the coolest part of it for me. So, anything else you want to say about Final Fantasy, coming from a non-fan and seeing all this stuff come out, hearing my reactions? I don't know if you've been listening to fans' reactions, or paying attention or anything. Anything else you got to say about it?
No, not really.
Well, I hope and I pray that this is your introduction to the series in a very meaningful capacity, in a meaningful way. But if that doesn't come true, that is fine. Moving on to story 3. Ladies and gentlemen, FromSoft's game is apparently right around the corner. This coming from the director himself. He says the development is currently in the final stages for the next upcoming From Software game. He also revealed that there are 2 unannounced games that were shaping up. One of them would go on to become Elden Ring, but this unannounced game, as he said, is currently in the final stages. We don't know what it is yet. Could be an Armored Core game. Could, if you're a PlayStation fanboy, maybe Bloodborne 2. That would be sweet. I think that'd be pretty cool. He did reveal that he is already working on yet another game as director, with plans to work on a more abstract fantasy than anything we've done in the past. So, Logan, being a fresh, newly minted From Software fan, what do you think? You might get the next game, early next year, or maybe even late this year. Who knows?
If it's anything like Elden Ring, I am unbelievably excited,
Okay,
but
well, I don't think
we
it's
will
gonna be.
see.
I don't think it's gonna be like open, massive Elden Ring. It'll be more like, yeah, a traditional From Software game. Because I don't think they can make 2 massive games back to back together.
That's fair, but I guess we'll see. Maybe I'll be interested in it. It really depends, but I mean, maybe it's still gonna be really cool. I'll have to look at that. I'm still more excited for that Elden Ring DLC, whichever that better be coming, because I will be buying the DLC for Elden Ring, 100%.
Hold up. Big sneeze. Excuse me.
Oh, I was like, you got some news to drop on me? I'm like,
No, 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 no. Big sneeze is building. Okay, got another one. Hold on. Oh, all right. Travesty avoided. I will say, coming as a Sony fanboy here, the Sony pony, self-proclaimed. Uh, being a new Bloodborne game would be really cool. It's one of the few From Software games that I've truly connected with because of its more assault-driven gameplay as opposed to defense-driven gameplay. That very much fits my style. Once Warzone 2 comes out, you're gonna realize why DJ hates playing with me because I just run into fights and don't care. I just sprint in with a shotgun and just like, hey, there's a guy over there. I died to him, but he's there, so have fun. Um,
Hey, I
so
played with you before. I know how you play.
okay, well, when we play Warzone, I'm much more team based. I'm much more less strategize and all that. DJ is the one on team based where he's shooting at someone and doesn't say a single thing. And
Oh, I
then
know.
and then I look down. I'm like, oh, are you fighting? He's like, yeah, I'm fighting with a team. I'm dead. I was like, oh, would
Jeez.
have been nice to know,
Yeah.
sir. But we're gonna get the teamwork figured out in Warzone 2. But saying again, going back to From Software, I would honestly be really excited if it's an Armored Core game. We have not had a good mech game in a while, and I remembered some of the Armored Core games from back in the day. Yeah, if you didn't know, by the way, FromSoft made the Armored Core games. I don't know if you knew that or not. Um,
I think I have seen that before, yeah.
yeah, so that's cool. That's actually how they started. They started making the Armored Core games and then went off into these other things. But I think that would be kind of cool. Don't know if it sell as much or anything like that because From Software has officially stepped into the limelight. They were always there with the Soul series and the Bloodborne series and everything like that. But Elden Ring being so far one of the best selling games of the year and easily the best selling FromSoft game ever made. Like they have officially stepped into the limelight. People know them now. They know what these games are. I mean, there's still people that talk about Elden Ring. Like I went to a dinner with Peyton for her work, and there was this guy who's like, "Yeah, I play a bunch of sports games, but I've been getting into Elden Ring a lot." And I'm like, "Jesus, man, this game's just everywhere. Everybody wants to play it. It's cool. Congratulations for them. I'm glad to see its success, um, and I hope they can just keep it going, keep turning out, and I hope it does translate into more people playing the next Souls game, more people playing the next Bloodborne game, or more people checking in and seeing what Armored Core is all about because it's from the guys that made Elden Ring." And I hope they can just keep it going and keep it sprinting and just keep that success churning out. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm more excited now to see what they do now because, yeah, I mean, Elden Ring is. I mean, whenever I get to my review, it's spoiler alert, it's one of my new favorite games of all time. So,
I don't
yeah,
think that's a
I
spoiler
am.
alert.
Yeah. I mean, every day I'm tempted to go back and beat it again, but I have so many other games to beat. But yeah, it's so good. And honestly, I'm excited for whatever they make next. Depends. Well, it really depends. Like, I'm not gonna be excited for everything they come out with. Like, I will probably never, ever play Sekiro. I don't care to. I don't find the thing that I like about Elden Ring isn't the same thing that is done in Sekiro. So I like the open-endedness and the choice of who you want to be and what kind of build you want to pick. That's where Elden Ring is so good for me. I like that. But for like games like Sekiro where you're one-sided, you're one specific type, it's that doesn't interest me. So if the next game is like that, I'm happy for them. Hope people enjoy it. I will not be getting it. But if they keep making more games like Dark Souls and Elden Ring, I'll probably be getting those from now on. Because yeah.
All right. Well,
Oh, that's it. By the way.
okay, cool. Thank you. See, that's what I need. Just
Yeah.
let me
I
know.
stopped you there.
Make it
Sorry.
make
I
it
know.
apparent that we're moving on to the next thing. And speaking of the next thing,
Yeah.
number 4 on Around the Point, Capcom has officially announced that they are working on Dragon Dogma 2 10 years after the original action RPG came out. The only new information we got is that it exists and it's being made on the RE engine, which cool. Most everything Capcom works should probably be made on the RE engine because it's great. I'll be interested to see how that engine runs in an open world setting because so far we've only got it in linear based Resident Evil games. I'll be interested to see how. Well, no, I guess that's not true at all. That's a fucking lie. Yeah, Monster World runs on the RE engine. So never mind. Just kidding. We know that it works. So great, cool, awesome. Can't wait. So no new
Yeah.
information was learned about that. But I wanted to take just a couple minutes and see, did you ever play Dragon's Dogma? Did you ever check it out? I checked it out 3 times, and man, I just can't play this game. I can't get into it. But I respect what it is. I just don't like what it is.
I played the demo way back on the 360 of the first game. I thought it was pretty cool at the time. Then I watched a lot of reviews, and the bigger issues with the game is just it's very, very, very slow, and also their annoying system of having no fast travel, where you
Yeah,
had to
that
like
killed
walk
me,
all
dude.
that, and like the fact that there's the biggest thing about any big open world game, we talked about this in a previous episode, is the traversal, and if it's bad, then it's not going to be enjoyable. And that's one of those games that's like, yeah, that made me not want to play it. That just does not sound fun at all. So hopefully they get something that makes traversal a lot more fun, because I thought it was cool, the gameplay style. I think it was cool that you can climb on the monsters and do cool
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. But other than that, that's yeah, it just doesn't sound exciting.
Yeah, the gameplay is really what I tried to keep playing the game for. But man, there was so many. I guess maybe I was I was in a different place because I played this after I played Skyrim, and I guess just like I had Skyrim syndrome in me, and like some of the mechanics, especially the AI controlled companion mechanics and how you could send them out and do all these other, it was just so lost on me and so convoluted that um I didn't really fully understand or comprehend what the game wanted me to do. And yes, having to run back and forth the same path over and over and over and over again and have all the enemies respawn every single time. That it wasn't my type of game, man. I not I may love JRPGs. I'm normally not too big into a Japanese studio making a Western more style RPG. That's normally where I don't fully love them. Obviously, FromSoft made one and it's really great in 2022. That's great. Uh, but usually, I'm not a huge fan of Western style Japanese made RPGs because they're very convoluted and complex sometimes. I will be interested to see how this does because if you don't know, the first Dragon's Dogma was not a financial success. It pretty much flopped hard, but it's garnered a cult following and fans have screamed and yelled at it. Um, and, it was popular enough to get a Netflix anime, which it was fine. I watched it. It was good. It wasn't great. Um, the plot was kind of crap, but it was very pretty. There was only 6 episodes, so it's maintained its standing in pop culture enough to get itself a show and a sequel. So congratulations to those internet people who have been talking about Dragon's Dogma for 10 years now. You're finally getting your sequel. Now go out and buy it. Because a lot of times when these longer waited sequels come out, no one goes out and buys it, and the studio's like, well, see, didn't sell shit. So those of you who have been yelling
Yeah.
and screaming about this, go buy it and support the thing that you want, because that's the only way you're going to get another one. So anything else?
Nope, not really.
All right, going on to our fifth, right? Yeah, fifth around the point. Another long awaited game. Well, long rumored. I don't know about awaited, but it's something, I guess. Apparently, according to a rumor run by Video Games Chronicles, Ubisoft is finally ready to re-reveal Skull and Bones next month, and apparently it's in the final stages of its development. Oh, I don't know what to think about this.
How is it just finally in its final stage? This thing has been. When did this game get announced? It seems like
What's
literally like a century ago.
It's not as long as you think. It was only first revealed in 2017. It feels like so much longer than that.
Really? It feels
Yes.
like it was like 2014 or
Dude, yes, it
2015,
yeah,
because it was
it,
like
it
right off the bat.
of the next gen
Sorry,
consoles,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. What even is this game at this point? I don't even know. Like, was it supposed? I thought it was supposed to be just a multiplayer thing where you just ride boats and you fight other people on boats. I thought that's what it was. That's why I'm kind of surprised it's been taking so freaking long to make this game. But like, is it like a single player game?
No,
Is
no,
it
it
like a
is
whole thing with that?
it is essentially a Ubisoft version of Skull and Bones. Well, not wait, no, that's a game of fuck.
What? I was like, what?
What the hell? Sea of Thieves. There we go. With
Oh, okay.
Assassin's Creed 4 style gameplay. That's what it was. That's what it's billed as. Apparently, the game's been restarted like 3 times. So who the hell even knows what this game is anymore? I don't even think the original people that worked on this game are still working on this game. So I don't know what's happening. I don't care, honestly. I just personally think it's kind of funny that they're still trying to make this game. Apparently they're also still trying to make Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is an even longer game. It's been in development. And it's like, it's one of those things that, yeah, we talk a lot of shit. I guess me personally, we talk a lot of shit on Xbox sometimes and how long they take to make games, especially, the initiative being in apparent trouble and all that. But man, they don't hold a candle to the Ubisoft. Ubisoft just takes decades to make games at this point sometimes. But you know what? They're going to have an Assassin's Creed game every 2 years. You're damn fucking right.
Yeah, it's just so stupid. Like, I don't know. Like, this game, at this point, they might as well just give up on it. Because I don't think most people even know about it anymore. Because it literally got announced, 2017. That's still a long time ago. And what is he even going to be on now? Engine. Because when they first, oh, what the heck? When it first was showed off, it was literally like using the Assassin's Creed 4 engine,
What was like an
and now
updated
it's been
version of
completely
it?
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, so now what are they gonna do? I mean, they make a whole new engine and change it up because, like, yeah, that's kind of dated now. So, like, what are they doing? I
But I
don't
mean, like,
know.
the game is coming because, like, over the past couple months, it's been rated by both Brazil and South Korea. So, like, the game exists, it's real. It doesn't get rated unless it's a thing. It doesn't get rated unless this company sends it to these rating boards to get approved. And so the game exists, it's real, it's coming now officially, especially if it got rated. Like, Ubisoft wouldn't send it out to get rated if the game wasn't coming, if the game wasn't releasing. So we're getting it, whatever it is. We don't know. A little bit of information here says, according to the leaked 6-minute video, the game is set in a world inspired by the Indian Ocean during the golden age of piracy. Players begin their journey as an underdog whose goal is to become the most infamous pirate to sail the open seas. Whatever that means, I don't know. So I don't even know. This may not even be a multiplayer game anymore. What if this game is just a single player pirate game now? Like, it just completely changed what it is.
I
Who the
mean,
hell
it's
knows?
cool. I'll probably try it out because I mean, I like Creed 4. I think that's one of the best pirate games I've ever played. So it would be cool if they, do something like that. But again, I don't know anything about this game anymore. It's just like, yeah, now it's forever ago. Didn't think it was ever going to come out because it keeps getting pushed back or just nothing has been said about it. And then now again, they're trying to re-reveal it. Like, are they going to show us some gameplay again? Because, like, they need to refresh everyone that, like, this game still exists.
Yeah,
Because I
apparently,
mean,
there was a leaked gameplay that was taken down a few months ago that is going to be its re-reveal or something like that. You can watch it on this guy's Twitter if it still exists, Rebs Gaming, who's the guy who leaked this all happening. So, but we'll see. Apparently, the plan is during the week of July 4th. So next week is they're gonna show gameplay, reveal details of the title's mechanics and everything. So who knows? Maybe next time we talk, maybe we see what Skull and Bones is in 2022. The rumor is it's going to be releasing the second part of the financial year in 2023. Sorry, the second half of its current, so ending March 31st, 2023. So the rumor is we're going to get this game in the next, 10 months. Who the hell knows, man? This shit's crazy.
I'll believe it when I see it. Because they said they were going to, like, I feel like also, like, a year or two ago, they also said they were going to have something to showcase about it, but
They did,
nothing
yeah. They
came to
said, hold
fruition.
on,
So,
that information is here. Uh, well, they just kept pushing it back. So, said
yeah.
its original reveal was set for release date at the end of 2018. It was then delayed to 2019, then March 2020, then the fiscal year ending March 22, then the fiscal year ending March 2023. So the game has been
Jeez.
delayed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times now. Is that a record? That might be a record.
Yeah, it might be.
We need the Guinness Book of Delays to figure out if this is a record or not. Anyway, but now it's like one of the things that we just talked about. Like the game is coming now. It got rated in these two different territories, so the game exists. It's real. It's on its way to us sometime. It's a crazy world we live in where we're gonna get to see Skull and Bones finally. But again, it hasn't been as long as it feels like. It feels like it's been 10 years that we've been hearing about this game, but it's really only been 5. Which again, maybe that's COVID's fault, and that's 2.5 years it felt like 10. But again, we're gonna see this game probably in the next year, in the next 12 months. We're gonna be able to play this game, and we may even see it and know what it is in the next 10 days. Who the hell knows? Crazy.
I don't know.
Do you have any hope
We'll
for it?
see, I
Is what I'm
guess.
saying.
If I
If
know
it i-
Ubisoft,
if
no.
it if it is just like a Sea of Thieves style Ubisoft game, multiplayer first, where you're battling your friends on the open sea, just like a core concept. I believe that's pretty close to the original pitch for this game. Like, does that even interest you in a way? Because it doesn't really hit for me. But I can honestly see where this comes out and is weirdly successful, even though everything that's gone wrong with this game is one of the most belated games of all time in terms of what it is. Um, if it if it is just that, if it is just a Ubisoft open world multiplayer / MMO pirate game, I honestly don't know how that fails. I don't foresee that failing in any way. What do you think?
So I think the only thing that if it is going to be a Sea of Thieves like game, I think the only thing that really I feel like this game could make succeed and I could have some hope for is depending on how in depth it is, how in depth the you're customizing your ship, how all the upgrade systems work. Is it going to be like a Sea of Thieves where there's like you can go to these islands, get quests and stuff, and then all your friends could be on the ship and you guys can go to like all this huge open world with all these different islands and stuff and get treasure, but then also have PvP against people. This could be a good competitor for Sea of Thieves because like the only issue I have with Sea of Thieves is it doesn't really have a lot of depth to it. Like it's a beautiful looking game, but all you're really doing is getting money and treasure to just get cosmetic stuff. There isn't any upgrades to guns, weapons, your clothes, your ship, none of that. So if this game offers that and offers even more customization and depth, this could be insanely good. And I love Assassin's Creed 4 ship combat. I think it's really fun. It would be interesting to see that in a PvP kind of style, but I'm still really skeptical because I mean, this game got announced forever ago. How good is this game going to look in today's standards? Uh, I'm just curious to see what they're going to do. If it is coming out, cool. I'll probably watch the whatever re-reveal that they're going to have, and if it is what I'm saying it is, and it's actually really in depth and it has a lot of cool stuff to it, I might check it out. I almost wonder if this is going to be a free-to-play game by Ubisoft, or if they are going to charge you, how much are they going to charge you for this game? Because it really depends. Like, how in depth is this game going to be? Is this going to be Ubisoft's MMO? Is this going to be Ubisoft's like Sea of Thieves, where it's not like MMO, but there's still players in the world, but you can still do things on your own? That's where it really depends. Again, don't know almost any details. They're in that one old trailer they have,
Yeah,
so I guess we'll see.
it's crazy to me to think that this could actually work. Like,
It really could. It could be
yeah,
really cool. Like really nail this. Because again, I think Assassin's Creed 4 is a good starting point, but they still, if they're gonna put this into a multiplayer thing, don't be a Fallout 76 where they were not prepared. And they need to really, and this game's been worked on for a ton now. I mean, it's been delayed a ton, so hopefully it it's very polished. It's very fun. Heck, I don't even care if it's the best looking game ever, as long as you're able to make it really in depth, really fun, a lot of cool things to do, like a lot of exploring in that, and it's not just ships versus ship. Maybe it's like you're going to different islands, you're doing a lot of exploring. It would be really cool. So again, I really just hope they can nail this because it would be super cool and it would give me some more praise for Ubisoft. But do I still trust Ubisoft? No. So I don't know if they're going to make a good game. I want them to, but will they? I don't know.
Well, maybe we will talk about it in a couple weeks on episode 16. Maybe not. Maybe we will. Let's hope. Moving on to
Yeah, I hope so.
moving on to story number 6 in Around the Point. ID at Xbox has announced that over the course of the next week, well, actually this previous week, I guess, so we're a little behind. This was originally supposed to be an announcement story, but you can only do so much in life. So I guess this is a recap story of this now. So over the past week, 21st through the 27th of June, Xbox has held an independent developers at Xbox showcase slash whatever they're doing here. Anyway, you'll be able to get your hands on 30 demos of upcoming unreleased games. These are more akin to early access titles throughout the lineup. This being now over instead of an announcement like was originally planned. Logan, did you get a chance to check any of these out to see any of these 30 games that they have been talking about here? And do you have anything to report? Or are we just moving straight on?
No.
Damn.
I
Okay.
honestly have not checked any of these out. I didn't even know this was a thing, and yeah, it ends tomorrow. So, uh, yeah,
Well, I mean, I guess there's only so much we can do, right?
yeah,
So, well, hopefully those of you out there got a chance to check this out, got a chance to see what this entailed. I think it's a kind of a cool idea, getting a chance to check out some of these smaller games, getting a chance to see what some of the independent studios are working on. I think this is a great idea, honestly. Wish could have made it a little bit more known, and so wish we could have done it last week and let people know. But
yeah,
maybe next time that we do this, I'll make sure to let you know, and you can maybe look up some things. So yeah, maybe that was my fault. Maybe it was just the outcome of what happened. So, but hey, you should have a day. You're gonna maybe go on and try to check some things out, see what's going on.
yeah,
Okay, okay. Well, maybe you can report back to us next episode and let us know if you saw anything or that tickled your fancy. Yeah, no.
yeah.
All right, moving on to the next story. Sorry that was such a slow one, but story number 7. May 2022 was a very slow month in video games. We've been talking about it for a while now. We said we are definitely in the middle of a lull here in the video game industry, but according to a new report by the NPD Group, sales were at the lowest for a single month since February 2020, down 19 years over. Now, oh my god, I can't read a fucking article today. Down 19% year over year to $3.7 billion. Yeah, $3.7 billion, man. We're at a slow month. Fuck off. But yeah, we've been talking about it. This just reiterates the fact that we are definitely in a lull. But the thing I wanted to show first, literally the reason why I wanted to put this on here, we are at such a lull for video games with no new games are coming out. We got really nothing brand new to play. We're just playing old games. Skyrim is back up top, the top 20 games sold in the United States in May 2022. You know what? Round of applause to Skyrim. Let's get it. Come on, Logan.
Yeah, jeez.
The
They
game
got.
is
I don't know how
still
they're doing it.
selling, still there. Like, its first appearance since November of 2017 in the top 20. So, congratulations to the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and it's still selling video games somehow, which is crazy to think. Yeah, exactly at 20th, right behind Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Dang.
Guess what number 1 is? If you scroll to the bottom of the article, you can see it, but Elden Ring's still number 1.
Yeah, let's go.
Jeez.
Just that DLC needs to come out. DLC needs to come out. I will be on top of that DLC, and I will beat it and have a review out probably within a week because I am so excited for that DLC to come out.
Hey, you know what? Evil Dead the game coming in at number 4. Congratulations. There you go. You know, I didn't hear amazing things about it. I didn't really hear anything bad about it, but good for you, Evil Dead the game. Mario Kart 8 still sitting there, top 10. Still selling. Pokemon Legends Arceus at number 10. Minecraft number 11. Horizon still holding on strong months after its release at number 12. Good for you. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate still there. Animal Crossing still there. And 3 Call of Duty games are in the top 20.
Jeez.
Yep. Vanguard at number 7, Black Ops Cold War at number 15, and Modern Warfare at number 19. Yeah,
It's all
so
that Call of Duty hype right now.
well, I just think, I mean, again, Call of Duty is just always sells. Like it's just it never not sells. And
Exactly.
yeah, that's why they keep making the games that they do, because why would they make anything else? You know, if I
It
was
was crazy though that they actually lost the first few places to Elden Ring though. Just still
well,
just
yeah,
a
it's a
feat in its
good,
own.
good for Elden Ring. I'm glad.
Yeah,
You know, we don't have to have Call of Duty being the best selling game every single year, year in, year out. It shouldn't, but
exactly.
it's going to be so, which is why it's never going to change that much, because we live in corporate America and that's how it runs. So,
Exactly.
anything else you want to say about how slow it is? It's actually kind of refreshing because I'm getting to play so many things that I'm getting to play all these games with Peyton. Getting to play Uncharted, getting to play the Dark Pictures anthology, not stressing out about any new games coming out. Like I'm looking ahead, and the next game I'm going to play is like The Last of Us Part 1 in September. And it's like I got months and months of just kind of playing whatever the hell I want to without having any sort of deadline or anything like that. Granted, our deadlines are just put on ourselves here, but it's kind of freeing. It's kind of nice to get back and go play some things. PlayStation Plus coming out, I think at a perfect
Yeah,
time has allowed us. So sorry.
no, you're good. Yeah, no, I'm kind of happy that we haven't been having much coming out, to be honest. Like it's pretty nice. I don't think every part of the year should be just release, 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 release. That would be overwhelming.
Well,
Like there's
this
still a lot of games I
yeah.
need to beat, and I'm happy that I have the time now to actually just go and beat those games. And nothing, not for a while. We're not going to be really getting super huge, so I'm kind of happy about that.
There is a new rumor
But
that at the end of July we are going to get a state of play for God of War,
yeah, I hope so.
and
It better be coming out.
it'll be announced for a November release date, which would make a pretty good year for Sony. I mean, we got Last of Us Part 1 in October, in September, Forspoken in October, God of War in November. That's a good couple months. I know you're not as excited for Forspoken, but I 100% am.
Oh yeah, I'm not excited at all for that. But God of War, on the other hand, very excited.
Yeah,
Of course,
good shit.
I think a
Well,
lot of
I
people
guess
are.
hopefully it's good shit. I mean, I'm pretty convinced it's going to be, but I guess
I would be
hopefully.
surprised if it's bad. So
I would no surprise doesn't cover it. I would be fucking shell shocked if that game was bad. You know,
yeah,
like I don't honestly just make God of War 1 again with a different story, and the game's gonna be good. Like people will complain because it's too samey or whatever, but it's like okay, fine, complain. I'm gonna go
I
and
think they're gonna do some big updates to it. I think, like, I mean, it's the gameplay is gonna, in a sense, yes, the same, and the graphics probably aren't gonna be. Well, they're gonna probably be better, way better, but not as way better as people might expect it from the trailers. Like, it looks, like it's coming to last gen still, so they have to kind of keep it in a
yeah,
sort
but
of,
so did Forbidden West,
realm.
and Forbidden West is leaps and bounds better than Zero Dawn graphically wise. Now, granted, God of War 2018 is a graphical powerhouse, so the different starting points, but
Yeah, I mean, it really does just depend on the make the graphics variable enough. Like, for example, one Xbox exclusive that does it stupid well is Forza Horizon 5. That game is so variable that you can it's like it could play on anything.
well,
Because you
apparently
look at
not
the
my
Xbox
computer.
One
So
version, Yeah, but if you look at the Xbox One version and all that, and you go to like the Series X version, it's a huge difference. It's really crazy. And again, it really just depends on the developer to make it like Halo Infinite failed on that because I really think Halo Infinite looks that much better than the Xbox One and One X version. Like I think it looks better graphically wise. Like I think the resolution is higher and everything, but do I really think it's that huge of a jump compared to the Xbox One and One X version? No, not really. And that's like, I mean, that's just a problem of its own. But I think God of War's still going to look really, really good. I mean, it's going to be a lot more crisp now. I'm sure they're going to have some cool DualSense things, which I really hope they had some cool DualSense stuff. Like, just
Oh, they're
imagine
going to
feeling like when
catching
you're
that
stabbing
axe,
into an enemy,
man.
you
No,
feel, yeah, you catch the edge, and oh,
catching the axe is
etch,
gonna be
axe, yeah,
X. Catching the X.
etch.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be great,
But
man.
I just, yeah, I really hope they show some like, I want to see some new things clearly. Like I know the gameplay is gonna be different in some way or form. There's gonna be big differences, big changes, but it's not gonna be like 100% complete change like God of War from God of War 3. You know, like it's gonna be it's going to be a big difference, and I'm excited to see the new things that add with his son being older now. So hopefully, there's some really cool stuff with that.
Yeah, I mean, the gameplay stuff excites me, obviously. Like, I want to see another game that plays as good as the first one is, but all I really care about is just seeing how the story ends, seeing where this takes us, and then just waiting 5 to 10 years to see what comes next. Honestly, I don't know. Well, I guess depending on whatever happens in this game, I think it'd be kind of cool if, they shelve it for a little bit and move on to something else. Move on to a different thing and wait a while. Because you think about, like, Uncharted. It's been shelved, and there's been rumors that maybe towards the end of PS5 generation we get the next Uncharted, we get the starting point for the next portion of the series. Because you think in 3 years, Uncharted 4 is 10 years old, man. It's been a decade since Uncharted 4 came out in 3 years, so it's like maybe towards the end of that generation we get the next installment or the next update or whatever it is. Maybe it's entirely different, just under the same name, entirely rebooted franchise, different characters and everything. But be kind of cool to see Santa Monica do something else. I mean, we know they're working on a second game. It's actually Cory Barlog's game, the director from the first God of War, is working on a new IP for Sony Santa Monica. So I'm excited to see what that entails. But even franchises that I love, I think sometimes it's good to have them just kind of sit back and ride off into the sunset for a couple years before they come rushing back into our consciousness.
Yeah, I can't wait. Probably the one game I'll probably spend $70 on. So other than Spider-Man 2, two games I'm gonna be spending $70 on. So
I spent $70 on a lot of games, I will tell you that, but that's
yeah,
that's just whatever. That's all I buy. I don't do anything else. I don't go out. I don't go out to bars. I don't drink. I don't go dancing. I go to movies every once in a while, but I spend as little as I can. Peyton and I budget our food. Like literally everything that I do in my life is geared around making my gaming habit as good as it can. Which is maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing. I
that's
don't
fair.
know. So my entire life is budgeted around being able to always afford a video game if I want to.
That's fair.
So, all right, going on to story number 8. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 had its live stream this past week, and we got some more detailed information about the game. And I can say, as not really a fan of the Xenoblade Chronicles series, they just never really grasped me as other JRPGs have. This thing looked pretty freaking cool. The story looked really good. The combat looked like it was a lot more digestible. And what I mean by that is if you've ever tried to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the battle system is fucking psychotic and it makes no sense. There's like 18 different things going on at one time. And I'm not talking about like on screen. I'm talking about like in the background. There's like different systems colliding that you have to take full advantage with to be able to do good. And my brain don't work with no more when it happens. I
Yeah,
swear I'm getting worse at games the older I get. Like I'm just getting much worse at games the older I get. You know? I'm
that's
not like
fair.
I'm not like you. You can just show up to my house and fucking beat the first 4 levels of seafood without even trying. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
not salty at all about that or anything. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not. Um, But did you get a chance to look at this? It was a long live stream, all dedicated to it. I thought it was a good live stream by Nintendo. Really show off. It was very close. It's very akin to what Sony does with their state of plays, like with the Horizon state of play. Hopefully, with what we see with the God of War state of play, it's all dedicated to one game and learning everything there is about that game. So, did you get a chance to check this out, or do you just not give two flying fucks about this?
Not gonna lie, I don't really care. Xenoblade games
That's fine.
I never really cared for. I also am kind of hoping this isn't just it. Like, is Nintendo gonna have something else coming soon? Because
Oh, are you talking
I
about
don't
like
know.
for the rest of the year?
Like this summer, are they gonna have something?
Well, I mean,
You know?
I mean,
Because I kind of hope they have something to
they got
show us. Because I feel like I
Splatoon,
don't
they
know.
got Pokemon coming. Like, they got
Yeah,
shit
that's what I was
coming.
saying. Like, so you'd think they'd have one of their directs, soon. Oh well,
Oh,
never
clearly, I
mind.
was just saying, clearly
I'm going
someone
to shut
hasn't
up.
read the
I am
article.
going to shut up. I see now. Never mind.
That's all right. I'll make this.
Okay.
I'll make this fast. I was like, man, someone has not read the article, the script, but
Nope, I have not.
that's
And that's how we transition to our next.
no, not okay. I guess you know what. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just go. All right, story number 9, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick, before you have anything to say, if you're all excited about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and you have played the other ones, please let me know why it's so good. And am I missing anything crazy as a self-proclaimed JRPG fan? And do I just not get it? Do I need to give it another chance? Please let me know if you want to. Yell at me. Tell me I'm stupid. Tell me I'm dumb and I can't grasp a combat system. Even though I can grasp quite a few combat systems and I'm normally pretty good at them. But please let me know if I'm just doing something wrong and tell me what you've done. Moving on now to the story that was forgotten by Logan. Nintendo Direct announced for next week. This is the current story, by the way, so it's like actually next week. The rumors are, I said July 8th, I think, is the rumor for it. But so yeah, Logan, you excited about the Direct? You excited about the
Yeah,
possibilities? All
I'm
right.
very
All right. So,
excited.
according to the rumor, this
I
is going
hope
to be. Sorry, according to the rumor, this is going to be a partner showcase, so strictly a third party, very akin to what Sony just had with their state of play. So, no first party games, no first party information, which, to be fair, we know pretty much most of what Nintendo's first party lineup is for the rest of the year. Like I said, Pokemon, like I said, Splatoon. There's something else that I'm forgetting. Oh, I'm forgetting one other game that's first party, but this is going to be a partner direct. So, oh, sorry, big stretch. What do you think? We get. I lost
I
track. Oh, sorry, there it is. Sorry. Yeah, we get Bayonetta. Maybe we get a look here. Mario Rabbids obviously will probably be here. Hopefully, they actually confirm that for 2022 and don't delay it. I firmly believe that Bayonetta 3 is not coming out in 2022. That game's not coming out this year. Like, I would be blown away if they actually make that happen. Yeah, what do you think? Being you're a bigger Nintendo guy than I am. I like Nintendo, but I don't really follow them as closely as Xbox or Sony. So, what do you think? What is something you want here? Being as the lineup that we do have currently for the Switch, is there anything that you want to see at this show?
let's see. Let's see. I had something I was gonna say. Persona 5. That's one of them.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, we'll
Please,
we'll probably
please.
get all the Personas. Honestly, hopefully that makes sense, right?
That would be amazing to see that because then I will be getting them on the Switch because that would be the perfect place to play those games, in my opinion. Um, but that maybe some Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay. That would be pretty cool.
Well,
Or just something, something for it to show us. Because I mean, we've only seen that one little thing. I mean, it would just be cool to see a little bit of something. I mean, I know they're probably saving their big stuff, their big gameplay thing for next year, closer to release. They're probably going to have, just like they did for Xenoblade, they're probably going to do a specific direct just of Breath of the Wild 2. Um, but yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe something new would be really cool.
I mean
Everyone
this
keeps wanting to.
this being a
Oh,
partner showcase,
yeah,
there's no shot in hell I believe that Zelda will be here. This is again the third party thing. That's like saying, God of War was going to be at the new State of Play. Like, no, I think they've done a good job announcing like this is going to be the partners and the different studios and publishing partners that they have deals with. So I would very confidently bet my entirety of my bank account, still a very small sum, but that Zelda's not here.
But at least I do want to see what you said, Mario and Rabbids. I mean, if it is going to come out this year, show us some gameplay. I want to see some. This would be the time I would think they would do it. So yeah, I would like to see that specifically. Obviously, Splatoon 3, we might see a little bit more because that should be coming pretty soon. And then I don't know, just again something wild. It'd be cool to see another wild we don't expect, like maybe a sequel, maybe Metroid Prime 4, uh, or what is it? Whatever it is, Prime 3, Prime 2. I don't really know what it's called now.
It's 4, yeah.
4, yeah. So
That's not
that
coming.
um,
That's also first
they
party too, so.
that's true. Just something cool, you know. I mean, obviously they also got to show off the new um Nintendo Switch Sports golf thing because that's supposed to be coming this summer.
Sometime, yeah.
Yeah. So I mainly just want to see Mario and Rabbids and Persona 5, and that would be pretty cool to see those announced because everyone keeps believing it's going to come. I mean, it should. I mean, it's literally put everywhere else now.
I mean,
So
yeah,
Nintendo
now
Switch
that
is like the last one.
now that the domino has fell, we know it's coming to Xbox. We know the whole collection is coming to Xbox and PlayStation consoles. I'm talking about 3, 4, and 5. Now that domino has fallen, yeah, it's gotta be here, right? Like, I don't see if it's not here, then it's just not coming, in my opinion. Like, if it's not here, it's not coming, which would make zero sense to not have a Persona game on.
Oh, I know. It would
the
literally be
Switch.
the perfect place to
I mean,
put Persona
yeah,
games.
it's one of the reasons I bought a Vita was to play Persona 4, and I loved it. I would lay in bed and play Persona 4 for fucking hours, and I was like, the way that game was meant to be played. Like, yeah, it's gonna be cool to play it on my PlayStation because that's probably how I'll play that. Because trophies are a thing, so I can't not do that. But if you want to talk about something surprising or unexpected, there is a rumor out there floating around in the ethos of the interwebs. The Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to Switch.
No way. Like that can't be possible. If it does,
Hey, they made
that would
The
be
Witcher
sick.
3 come to Switch, all right?
Yeah. Well, if they're gonna announce that, dude, I swear Red Dead Redemption 2 better be getting a next gen patch at some point because I'm still frustrated that there has been no next gen patch.
Well, I don't
Frustrates me.
I'm fairly confident they will not announce that here. That would be
No,
awkward.
I know they won't do that here. If I just want to see them announce like a next gen patch because there's been a lot of people saying rumors that they were going to announce it this year that there was going to be a Red Dead Redemption 2 patch or a Red Dead Redemption 2 next gen thing where you probably have to pay for it because it's Rockstar. But I'm even willing to pay some money to get as long as it's a big upgrade and they do a lot of things, I'm willing to pay the money for it. I just hope they do it because like I want to see Red Dead Redemption 2 come to next gen consoles. It is honestly a crime that it has not come out to next gen consoles. It's stupid. That game is so good. It looks amazing, and all I wish for is a next gen upgrade, patch, whatever. Heck, I mean, I wouldn't want this, but heck, if they're that lazy, at least just update the frame rate to 60 FPS. Just bam, send it update out, update it to 60 FPS for next gen consoles. I would even be happy with that, but I'd much rather an actual next gen patch, but just something. Because like I feel like Red Dead Redemption 2 got pushed under the rug, and then they came out with this GTA 5 remaster thing, and it's just like, come on, Red Dead Redemption 2 is such an amazing game. But if it does
Question.
come to Switch, that would be cool, and also I would be very interested to see how it's gonna look, how it's gonna run. It'd be so weird.
It's gotta be bad. Because, like,
Oh yeah.
credit where credit's due, they got The Witcher 3 to run on the Switch. I wouldn't say that it's a good port of the game. It looks like Vaseline isn't smeared over my eyes looking at it. It looks like low-end versions of Cyberpunk 2077. Speaking of that, I saw... this is a little side skirt. I saw Cyberpunk 2077 running on a Steam machine It's like a low-powered machine that can run Steam games. Man, that
Hmm.
looked gross. That game does not look good
Yeah.
at lower. It was running like at 720p resolution with low textures and everything. I'm like, oh my god, this looks awful. It is ugly. But Rockstar probably wouldn't do that. They would probably make sure it looks okay. Well, okay, never mind. I was gonna say they would make sure, but then again, they put out GTA trilogy, so who the fuck knows, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be super surprised if they just use a third party to port Red Dead Redemption 2 over to the Switch. I wouldn't be surprised. Which means it probably wouldn't have the same quality as Rockstar doing it themselves.
Oh,
So,
well, I know. I don't believe that Rockstar is probably worried about porting Red Dead Redemption 2 to the Nintendo Switch. Like,
mhm.
maybe they went to Nintendo and was like, "Hey, do you want this?" And then Nintendo was like, "Yeah." Like, all right, we'll have some other team do it. Um, but yeah, I don't think they're individually working on this. They probably outsource it. They're heads down on GTA 6. I feel like.
If
I
it
hope
does
so.
happen to come out and actually look decently well and run pretty well, I'd be tempted to try it out on there. It'd be super cool to play Red Dead on the go, but I mean, I don't know. I almost would rather just wait till I get like a Steam Deck and then get it on there. Be a lot better.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, but you're right. I kind of just want a next gen version because I actually do want to play that game again. I put like 40 hours into it the first time. I got distracted by Spider Man. Never got to beat it. Unfortunately, I know what happens in the story, so that spoiled a little bit. But I kind of just want to play Horse Simulator. Or not. Well, never. Hold on. Play Cowboy
Whoa, wait
Simulator.
a minute.
Play Cowboy Simulator for a little bit. I'm leaning into the joke, obviously, but I really do like just living in that world. Like I told you when I originally played it, like I would just kind of walk. I would go out hunting. I kill a deer. I throw a deer over my shoulder, and I just walk back to camp. That's just kind of the way I like to play it. And for some reason, Peyton liked watching me play the games that way. But she thinks Ratchet and Clank is boring to watch. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. That makes fucking
All right.
sense. That makes sense. Red Dead Redemption 2 is enjoyable and engaging to watch, but Ratchet and Clank, nope, just too boring for me. Fucking makes no sense. Anyway, we kind of turned this in from a Nintendo Direct to a Red Dead story. Anything else you'd want to see from the Direct? Anything else you want? Anything off the wall, out of your mind? Any crazy predictions? Give me something. What do you got for me?
Um, Crazy predictions. I mean, as I said, Mario Rabbids, Persona 5 better be there. That's probably the biggest one I think that needs to be there, other than Mario and Rabbids. Um, uh, Another crazy prediction is maybe, and I know this isn't a big thing, but like maybe the Nintendo Switch Sports, they have another sport that they're gonna announce. That would be pretty sick. Um, and that, they give us a big teaser that we won't expect for something else, some other big project.
Oh, way to put your
Maybe it
foot
won't be
down on
anything
that one.
big, but it'll be a teaser. Yeah.
Um, I would say one thing that we're kind of forgetting is Switch has been home to a lot of Star Wars ports. Like we got Jedi Academy 2. Obviously, they just released KOTOR and KOTOR 2. What else is left? Oh, they released Force Unleashed, by the way. What else is left to port over in terms of Star Wars games? I would honestly
Battlefront
like to see.
2.
Oh, Battlefront 2. That'd be a big one.
Dude,
Battlefront
if
2 to the
they do
Switch.
that,
That'd be cool.
I will be so unbelievably excited. It makes no sense that that game has not been ported to anything. I mean, it's on the Xbox One, but that's because it's backwards compatibility. I want to see them just like report that game again. Like they have it, they own it. It's LucasArts game. So like please report that game. Dude, I would be so excited if they did that. But I guess it is a little bit of a different situation because there's a new Battlefront 2, but still, come on. Just like re send out the old Battlefront 2 again. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I think that would be a real cool one. And honestly, you're probably right. The reason why we haven't seen a remake or a re-release of that game is because they don't want to splinter the fan base between the current Battlefield and the old ones. But what I say to that is maybe EA make a better fucking game. And yes, I know it's good right now. I understand that. Don't at me anybody. But what I'm saying is you still talk to the general public out there. Most people believe that game still sucks because First impressions are everything, folks. I'm sorry.
No, it's a truth, but yeah, it is way better now. Like way better. And it's honestly a lot of people wish they just kept continuing with it, but you know the story why. It's because they didn't want Battlefront 2 to last longer than Battlefield 5 itself. And Battlefield 5 died before Battlefront 2 did. Battlefront 2 came out before Battlefield 5, and they took all the people from Battlefront 2 and put them over to the new Battlefield game, which we have now seen that was a waste of time.
Yeah, big waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, they had a lot of really plans for Battlefront 2. They were going to bring Ahsoka over as one of the heroes. They had a whole different more. They had a bunch of maps they had planned. So many things they had planned, but they were cut short because EA stopped them. Well, Dice, I think, was probably the more specific one that stopped them from continuing making stuff for it. So yeah, it kind of sucks because I wish they did, and there probably will never be a Battlefront 3 because Battlefront 2 was seen as a failure. Anyways, I'm sure it actually did insanely well. It actually still has a ton of people playing it to this day, probably more than Battlefield 2042. And yet, it's never probably going to get a third one because, it's the curse. Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2, no Battlefront 3. Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2, no Battlefront 3. It just seems to never want to make a third one. And the third
All
one
right.
probably would have been super cool. So yeah.
So I am checking this up. Let's see. Battlefront 2 currently has 3,547 players playing it. Battlefield 2042 currently has. Oh wow. Okay, well, that's not a fair battle because of the new thing. It's got 7,765.
Oh, okay. Well, that's because of the new update.
Yeah,
But before
but
the new update, yeah.
in May, it
Yeah.
had 1,945, and in May, Battlefront had 1,942.
Jeez.
So I guess it's pretty similar, whatever. But hey, it's pretty similar, and this game came out 4 years ago. Battlefront came out last year, so good on it, I guess. So, all right, anything else you got on Nintendo Direct? Yeah, I think Battlefront 2, like OG Battlefront 2, re-release or remake would be a pretty huge one. That'd be pretty big. I'd be excited. I'd play it with you. I'd get on there. We would have some battles on Cloud City. You can do that Battlefront 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't want to sound real dumb.
Well,
so-
as long as they bring the then yes, Cloud Cities and Battlefront 2.
Okay,
So
cool. I didn't want to sound super dumb, but I probably still did. So, moving on. Story number 10. Going into the double digits now here on Around the Point. We are talking about a new announcement of a game. From a long-awaited studio, we've known that they've been working on something for a while. We finally got the announcement, and that is Creative Assembly's new first-person shooter is called HYENAS. It is a PvE shooter from the team of Alien Isolation and Halo Wars 2, set in a future where billions have colonized Mars and made Earth inhospitable. Go figure. HYENAS is a fast-paced multiplayer FPS that casts players as anti-hero pirates stealing from the mega-rich. Each mass hosts 15 players split into 5 teams of 3, and those teams compete to steal treasures from a spaceship and escape with the biggest pile of loot. Oh, it goes on to say it sounds a little bit like Hunt the Showdown, but with the slick and speedy sensibilities of Apex Legends. Logan, did you get a chance to check this out? What do you think about it? I was actually surprisingly intrigued by this, and I'm not the multiplayer guy, but I thought this kind of sounds cool. I like the idea of AI being in there, and you happen to coordinate with your team to steal this stuff, and then you have to combat the other teams that are in there. And yeah, overall thought this could actually be something that maybe you and I jump into for a week, but that's about all I can expect from something like this. But it seems interesting. Sega Creative Assembly coming together, people who did Alien Isolation making this game, which is a weird one, but cool, I guess, So what do you think?
I don't know. So you get sent into maps, so like big maps, and it's kind of like Hunter Showdown and all that, and I guess Escape from Tarkov.
So it's 3 teams,
loot and stuff.
It's 3 teams it's 3 teams of 5, and those teams with AI companion, not AI companions. There's also AI in the maps, and you compete to steal treasures from like spaceships and then escape with the biggest
Hmm.
pile of loot. So it is like Hunt, but it's more akin artistically and gameplay to something like Apex.
There's an okay. So I mean that sounds kind of cool. There's this other game that well not announced, but it's been in beta. It's only in PC, but and who knows if it'll ever come to console. But it's what was it called? Marauders. It's another game that's really sick. It's basically kind of like this, but even better. Basically, you get to actually control a ship and fight with people, and you can like literally dock into other people's ships and like fight them on their ships and everything. And it reminded me a lot of like what this is basically saying, but even better, basically. So who knows? Maybe this will be pretty cool though. I mean, the art style looks pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, so
And it
they
really just depends.
go on. They
So you go on.
They go on to say the ships are also detailed with full security sensors, switch, interactive systems, and gadgets that are trying to prevent you from stealing the treasures from that. And since you are battling on freighter ships traveling between Earth and Mars, there's apparently zero gravity sections to contend with that allow you to float around and fight in a 3D space, along with rooms and corridors that have on-off switches for zero-G control.
Actually, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, as I
I don't
said,
know.
it sounds interesting. It'll probably be said something that you and I hop on for like a week and then roll out because that's just who I am. Doesn't sound like there'll be enough depth or anything to keep me playing, but who knows? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. We'll find out more. But cool idea, I think. We'll see if they can execute it. We'll see if they can pull that off. Moving on to the 11 story. This one's a big old backbreaker for there, Logan. It has been officially confirmed through a new trailer that Stalker 2 has been delayed until 2023 thanks to the war in Ukraine. We learned that all and every production was stopped on the game for a significant period of time. It has since now restarted and they are back up and running, but it has been confirmed to be delayed till 2023. Logan, your response. First of all, I want to
Um,
say good for them. I'm glad that things are in I guess, a better state that they can get back to work. Um, you know, I would say if they're in danger or anything like that, please just stop working on the game. We'll play it whenever it comes out. I don't care that much. Be safe. But it seems like, um, that they're in a better situation now and they're going back to work. So cool on them, I guess. Hopefully everything's good over there or safe for them while they're working on this game. And if it's not, please stop working on this game and protect yourselves. Logan, what do you think?
yeah, I mean, I would pretty much say the same thing. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's better that they try to be safe more than anything. And but yeah, I mean, doesn't really suck. Makes complete sense why they're delaying it. But yeah, I hope to see it next year. I am actually really excited for this game. I'm very, very excited because, well, at first I thought it was made by the people that made Metro, but it reminds me a crap ton of Metro, and I'm very excited for it. Looks super cool, and it looks super fun, and the look insane. And I would say the same for Metro too. It looks a lot like it, so that's why I kind of thought it was made by them. But yeah, I'm excited to play this. It's going to become the Game Pass, so I'll probably be pre-downloading it whenever it gets to that point, and play it day one.
Yeah,
And that'll be it. Sorry.
no, you're
Yeah,
good. I
yeah,
I'm still not hugely excited about it, just because I don't know why. I haven't really played the Metro games. I know travesty of epic proportions. I tried to play the first one like last week, but I don't know. I need to play them. I need to just force myself to sit down and play them. I know they're great
dude.
games. I
Especially
understand it.
Metro Exodus, dude, played on your PS5, you're gonna be blown away like how good it looks. It is actually the only game on next gen consoles right now that is actually using ray tracing global illumination, which by far, by the way, is the best form of ray tracing. It is stupid good looking. Like it is so good looking. I 100% recommend Metro Exodus. It is just so beautiful that game. Yes, the voice acting is a little off, which I almost wonder how much better it would be if you switch it to the Russian and just put subtitles on it. I think the mouth, it would actually match their mouths, but in the English version, it doesn't. So if you play it in probably Russian and put in subtitles, it probably would look a little bit better. But yeah, the voice acting is okay, but it is super good, like so good. And the story's pretty dang cool, and it has a lot of cool features and a lot of cool ideas that they did compared to the other two games. So you don't really have to play the other two games to know what's going on, but it's probably better that you do, so you do kind of get an idea. But if you had to jump, you could jump into Exodus and not be super confused.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. If I am gonna play, I'm gonna play all three of them. You know me.
Yeah.
I care about story and characters, so we'll see. We'll see if I can jump right into that. Um, moving on to 12th story, and ladies and gentlemen, I just went back and checked the data. This is officially the longest section of Around the Point in the history of the XP podcasts. Don't know if that means anything or whatever. Unfortunately, it's a pretty shit story to get to that point on, but we got better stuff coming soon. Marvel's Avengers is set to reveal Jane Foster gameplay next week, and actually it's tomorrow, and the release is on June 28th, which is Tuesday when this episode goes live. So, god damn it, looks like I gotta re-download Marvel's Avengers, which I'm not happy about. Do you have
I don't blame
anything?
you.
Huh?
No, no, I have literally nothing about this game. I'm not excited for this character either.
I don't think I'm gonna re-download it yet because this is at least I believe. Oh yeah, I guess we'll see tomorrow. I'll watch the blog post tomorrow. I'll watch the war table tomorrow. I don't believe that this comes with like a set of missions, like Hawkeye and other people did. I believe it's just a character drop, like Spider-Man was. We'll see. Well, even Spider-Man came with its set of missions. It was literally just a checklist of kill X amount of things or do X amount of attacks. That was the story in Spider-Man. But as always, man, there's something about this game. I like playing as the heroes. I like leveling up my characters all the way, finding the right battle style or combat style for each one. I will say the picture that's on this article makes Jane Foster look badass as hell. So hopefully that's her look in game because that look looks fucking fire. Don't know if you're looking at the article or not, but the picture I think she looks super fucking cool. So hopefully that's the look. If that is great, it says this
Oh
does.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, isn't it? Yeah. If this does come with like missions and some cutscenes or something, yeah, I'll be a little bit more excited because I like that kind of stuff. It's a good way for me to get a couple more days or a couple more hours out of Avengers. But since I officially rolled the platinum, I don't feel the need to continually play it all the time anymore. I'll wait for character drops and I'll wait for other things to jump back into it and play those things, level those characters up, and then I'll roll back out and wait till the game's dead, pretty much, which honestly should be coming pretty shortly. So, still supposed to be getting She-Hulk at some point in time, which is a much bigger edition. That is rumored to be an actual expansion akin to the Black Panther one. So we'll see. I mean, they're definitely not going to hit it for the show. The show comes out in August, right? Or am I wrong on that?
I thought it was it in July?
Was it July? Nah, fuck, I don't know. Let me figure it out. I don't really care because the show looks garbage. So
Wait, what show? Oh,
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. Oh, I thought we were talking about Thor. No, I
Yeah,
had no idea when
August
She-Hulk was coming.
17th. So I was right the first time. Yeah,
Yeah,
August
so you're right.
17th.
Yeah,
So
you're right. I thought you were talking about Thor
no,
because we were talking about
no,
Thor. So,
I knew Thor. Thor comes out
oh, okay.
the 8th. So
Damn.
yeah, actually the next show, hopefully we can all sit down and talk about Thor. Man, that'll be a very because the next show is going to be like Obi-Wan, Thor. Should we split it up? We'll talk about that after the show. We'll see. We'll make plans for that. Ladies and gentlemen, look forward to our review of Thor Love and Thunder, our review of Obi-Wan, and our catching up on all the news stories happening throughout the 4th of July weekend, including what I think of Jane Foster gameplay if I decide to actually re-download it and play it. I'm playing a lot of things right now. Just downloaded Shadow Warrior 3 because that comes off of PlayStation Plus next week. So I think I actually might literally sit down and play that today. Try to get through that because it's a pretty easy platinum. And I want to get through and play that. And I like the Shadow Warrior games. They're fun. And I'm kind of feeling like a first-person shooter right now. And I don't feel like spending $30 on Modern Warfare for just the story. So I figured, why not get a game for free and play that instead, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, you get it. You get it, Mr. Old Xbox fan over there. You get it. Hey, I'm coming around. I'm loving PlayStation Plus, man. It's
Yeah.
I got a lot of games downloaded that I just kind of bounce back around. I'm usually the one game at a time guy, but I'm playing like 5 things. it's it's nice.
It's a problem.
It is a
Yeah.
problem. It's nice, but it is a fucking problem. But I'm trying to stay consistent. I'm trying to only play like 2 or 3 games at a time. And, pretty much I'm splitting into my own personal game that I want to play and the game I'm playing with Peyton. So, and then sometimes DJ and I get online and chat, and then I'll play like one of the PS2 games or PS1 games that I don't really have to pay too much attention to. I'm just doing for trophies and nostalgia. So, I'm in a good rhythm. I like where I'm at in gaming right now. It's just I like where we're at in the year that I can just kind of do whatever the hell I want. And I don't have to rip through The Last of Us. I don't have to rip through um, Forspoken. Oh, there's another game coming out in October. Well, outside of Call of Duty, but yes, I know Call of Duty. What the fuck is that game? Oh, Gotham Knights, duh. Yeah, Gotham Knight comes out 3 days before Warzone. Sorry, 3 days
Oh,
before
God.
Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, that's Gotham Knights. I'm sure you're gonna like it because it's a lot like Avengers. So
We'll see. We'll see.
I will not like it. I know it for a fact now because it looks pretty bad. But maybe
I mean, it does.
it
It
is so
does
mind
look pretty
blowing.
bad.
People are gonna be like, "Wow, yeah,
Oh, it's not going to be. I guarantee you, this game is not going to be good. I may like
yeah."
it. I may not. I don't know. I put 300 plus hours into Avengers. I'm kind of all spunked out on that. That was a weird way to say that. I don't like that. Let's take it back about 15 seconds. I'm all burnt out. I don't know why I said that word.
Yeah.
That was a bad word to use there. All right, let's go to story number 13. This one sucked for me, and I want to see if Logan thinks it's not a damning news story, but I think it's kind of crappy that it's going to happen in this way. We got a Redfall update this week, and they said campaign progress will be tied to the host in co-op. So what that means in layman's terms is if Logan and I are playing, whatever person is the host, so whoever sends out the invite and the other person joins, that person will only be the one to progress the campaign. And if, say, Logan joins me, we play for 5 to 6 hours that night or however long we play. When he goes back, he will either have to replay those 5 to 6 hours if he wants to get to the same campaign progress, or just relinquish the fact that he's only going to play with me as he plays through it. I personally think this is a massive shit decision, but I wanted to get your scope and your opinion on this and see what you think, Logan.
No, that's so true. Yeah, that's really dumb. Like you're clearly this game is meant to be anyways a co-op game, but the fact that you're not going to allow people to gain any progress in the story if you're joining a host is horrible. Like that what it's let's say you're playing with a friend and then another friend gets it but that friend can't get on now. So you join the other host or they join you, you're going to be way behind now because you're probably going to be stuck at the beginning of the game because you're playing with one host. So that's a horrible idea in my opinion. Like that's just like I don't know, it just makes no sense. I hope that's something can fix because this is a mainly co-op game. So you taking away the progress for everyone that joins the host isn't going to work out very well in my opinion.
All right, so here's some more. Here's what I believe he's the director. He's talking. So it says, so for the flow of things, you want to have to redo these. Smith said the story would be very confusing if you got to mission 8 and it said skip this one because you've already done it. Smith then said that Arcane initially tried to give players some credit for completing a given level when they aren't the host. However, this didn't work out as those same players would then run into the same mission again when playing solo or as a host of their own co-op session. However, the Smiths told IGN that character progression aspects such as loot and XP would carry over to your campaign. I don't know about you, but that entire fucking thing was like contradictory as hell. I got confused reading that.
Like I get one thing. Okay, so here's like the thing. I kind of get one point of what he's saying, but I don't understand the rest of it. Like, I get if you like, let's say you've been playing this game alone, and a dude's farther in the game, because this has happened to me too before with Borderlands 3, and it made me extremely mad. Um, you would join somebody, they're farther in the game than you are, and you play for a little bit, but you go back to your game, and then now when you go through your game, it's gonna skip that part for you, and you can't replay that part. You're like, I've had an issue with Borderlands 3 where this happened, where literally I joined a friend for 2 minutes, left the game, went to go play my game, and it skipped an entire story part of the game, and I couldn't go back. There was no way to go back. There's no way to fix it. It didn't give me an option. It just said, you play with this person, so now you have to skip it. Now, if they give you an option, that's fine. But like, I can see that that would be very frustrating. Like, I've had that happen to me with Borderlands 3.
Okay,
So,
that makes a little bit of sense. That does. You know,
yeah.
you don't want to have to skip forward, and then when you come back to your own game, it would track that way. But what doesn't make sense is, like I said, is like where you and I say we started out together, play for 4 or 5 hours, and then when you come back, if I was the host, you don't get that progress. That one's the one
Yeah,
there
yeah.
should be a way to, like, as long as you are progressing linearly throughout the game, linearly, I said that wrong. It should track that way. So yeah, if you jump forward ahead like 10 levels and it just I don't know if there's a way to do it. I don't know, man. It doesn't sound like it should be that confusing. But also, you know, if you're playing with a friend, this game doesn't sound like a game you're gonna play with randoms. If you're playing with a friend and he's like, "Hey, I'm on
No.
mission 8," and say I played it, I'm like, "Hey, Logan, I'm on mission 8," and you're like, "Well, I'm only on mission 2." I'm like, "Okay, I'll just join you then." Like,
Yeah.
maybe don't join the other guy. It doesn't really sound like a game that you're gonna play with random people. But maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, the way it sounds like this is supposed to be an open world game, so like, but then they're talking about levels and all that. It said you will not receive campaign progress after completing a level. So again, I don't know. I guess we just don't know enough about this game yet to really say yay or nay on it. But when I first read this, I was like, well, that sucks. But maybe it's not as bad. Like, the way you explained it was a little better to me. I get that. You know, but it does suck for, like, you and I who probably plan to play this game together, that, you know, we either keep playing it together over and over again, or one person's going to be consistently behind for every second that we play the game together. That sucks.
Yeah. I got it. I mean, I get it both ways, but I think what I'm saying isn't as bad as, like, I mean, I think he should still give people the option to like do that. Like, again, I think a very basic is just saying, do you want to skip the section? Yes or no? Boom, done.
Yeah.
You fixed it. That easy. It's literally that easy. And I'm not a game designer, understand the code and what you need to do, but like I feel like it's pretty simple, and I don't think it's really that hard to figure that out. I don't know if there's maybe something with the engine that still doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. I hopefully they fix this by the time it comes out. Or maybe it's just maybe not that big of a deal. Maybe this is being overblown. Who knows?
Yeah, it
But
could be. It could be completely overblown and it works perfectly fine. And,
yeah,
you know, but it's still in my head. And, like, you know, you and I probably, again, plan to play this pretty closely together. And, like, it would suck, like, if, you know, one of us has to be the host at all times, because it's like, oh, well, I'm still on mission 1 because we played 6 missions together last night on Logan being the host, or you being the host, or whatever. It's like, okay, well, I can never be the host then. That's kind of annoying, you know?
yeah, that is annoying.
We'll see. We'll see. Sometime next year. I forgot what the actual release date was for. They just said 2023, didn't they? They didn't actually give a release date. I don't remember. They said summer 2023, I think. Who knows? Anyway,
Yeah, maybe.
I don't remember. Moving on to story number 14 on Around the Point. We got some more Starfield updates. Some of them good, some of them bad. Well, at least for me personally, one of them's kind of like blab or whatever. So let's go through these real quick. Let's talk about them. Well, not real quick. We can spend as long as we want on them. I don't really care. Let's talk about them and see what we think about them. The first one that I want to talk about is something that I think makes sense for what this game is trying to be. You know, it's very Elder Scrolls-ish, but your main character in Starfield will not have a voice. You will just be selecting dialogue options, and characters will be reacting to them, which is the same way in
Are you thinking of Outer Worlds?
Skyrim. No, I was thinking of Skyrim
Oh,
because
Skyrim. Okay.
Skyrim, your voice doesn't have voice acting. I'm getting tricked up. Does Fallout have voice acting?
The only one that does is 4. Every other one
4.
didn't.
Okay, 4 had your character was acting. So yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. I like when games have voice acting, but I also kind of get why
No,
it
I
doesn't.
think it's a good thing because of one thing. The issue with Fallout 4's voice acting was the fact that there was only so many dialogue choices they could have made. Because I mean, you got to think Fallout 4, as much as people don't like, there's a lot of decision making things. So that dude had to record a absolute insane amount of lines for everything. So it's honestly better that they don't put a voice actor in there because people a lot more options when it comes to dialogue. Because in Fallout 4, there was only like 4 different choices with every single thing, and that's where people started to get upset because they were like, it was either good, joke, bad, or lie or something like that. That was
Yeah.
it. But then like in other games, there's like 6 or 7 different choices, and some of them depend on whatever your stats are. So this is a good thing in my opinion because it also just kind of puts like because it's a role playing game. So you are this, which I know you aren't really a huge person on that, but me, I like it because then I'm role playing the person. I can read out the lines in my head. I'm kind of like the voice of this character. And so basically, I get to, whenever I choose these decisions, it's almost like I'm playing myself. And hopefully, this will mean that in Starfield, there is a ton of dialogue choices because I mean, that's literally the reason why the whole silent protagonist thing is a big deal, is because it gives them way more options to say things. So I hope that's what they do. I'm hoping this is a good thing.
I don't hate silent protagonists, especially in situations like this. I don't actually mind it too much. Like Dragon Age, the first one, your protagonist is silent. I said in Elder Scrolls, you're silent. I didn't remember Fallout, but like the one when I don't like silent protagonists is like Zelda. You know why doesn't Zelda say anything? You don't have a choice in the matter. Like
Yeah, no, that
he
doesn't
just
make any
stands
sense.
there
That
awkwardly.
doesn't, yeah.
It's games
Yeah.
like that I hate silent protagonists or things like that. When like you don't have a choice in what you're saying or anything like that. There's not a detailed amount of decisions to be done. You're just listening to characters talk, and you the whole time are just standing there. I hate that. It's dumb. So, did I say I didn't like this? I guess I'm
No,
indifferent. Okay.
I think you brought up a lot more like voice acting and the protagonist. You've talked about it before a little bit. So I know you're not like the biggest fan of silent protagonists from what I could tell from things you've talked about before. I'm
I
not saying you hate it
I feel
completely because
like
clearly you love Skyrim, so
I have a deeper connection to someone who speaks, like Commander Shepard or something like that. He is the same thing that you're saying. He only has like 4 lines of dialogue per decision to be made. Now maybe that's Fallout 4's writing wasn't very good, which is the reason why you didn't like it or anything like that. But I love
well, I
Commander
like
Shepard.
Fallout 4. I didn't have a problem with it. I'm saying all the main Fallout fans did not like it at all because, well, one of the best ones that people always say is Fallout New Vegas, and that has no voice protagonist, but there is so many decisions and so many. It's basically Fallout New Vegas was the Fallout that was Skyrim. It literally gives you so many choices. It's open ended, and you can kind of do whatever you want. So that's why a lot of people love New Vegas so much compared to like Fallout 4, where I feel like Fallout 4. I mean, that's also again because like I think Fallout 4 didn't give you enough. Like it gives you quite a bit of choices, but nowhere close to the amount of like Skyrim or New Vegas.
Yeah. All right. So the next bit of information, I'm pretty indifferent to that. To summarize that, it's like whatever, fine, yeah. Skyrim, I didn't care. I will say, Skyrim, I don't care about the voice acting because the story doesn't matter, and I think this game is following more closely to like Fallout, where the story does matter. It's like it's important to the story, like your decisions makings and all that. Elder Scrolls, one, you don't really make decisions too much. Like, they don't really have a huge effect on the game or the narrative being told. But also, there's been times where I've played that game for 200 hours and not done a single story mission. So, like, the story doesn't matter in Skyrim. That's not what I play those games for. Whereas this and Fallout, the story is one of the main driving points. So, we'll see. I know I complained about Cyberpunk not being third person, and while it's still a legitimate complaint, like it's not as bad when you play the game. The first person does lead a sense of connectivity to the world. So maybe I'm hypocritical, maybe I'm not. We'll see. Moving on to
Yeah,
the.
it
Sorry,
almost
go
makes
ahead.
me wonder what if Cyberpunk did. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
It
you're good.
almost makes me wonder how different Cyberpunk would have been if it had a silent protagonist. Because you make your own character and everything. I wonder how much more decisions they could have put in the game. Because that's the issue with Cyberpunk. And I guess I'll make this really short. But basically, Cyberpunk, I think my biggest issue with the game is no matter where you start or begin, you're always a street kid. No matter who you pick, who you start as, whatever you do, you are always a street kid. You always end up being a street kid. That's basically the lore friendly version of who you are in Cyberpunk. No one, yes, you get to make some big decisions towards the end of the game, which is not ruining it, but you just basically are always the street kid. And I think the voice too that they put for the male and the female all sound like a street kid. They all have that like I'm a part of the city kind of voice. And they didn't that's where I think it's even better to have sometimes have a silent protagonist when you're giving people decisions and everything because then you kind of have your own voice in your own head of who you're playing as. So that's another thing. That was just a quick thing I wanted to bring
You're
up
good.
that I think also helps with silent protagonists.
I'm still on the final mission of Cyberpunk.
Beat it. Just beat it.
No, and like what's funny is like I'm not even like on the final grouping of missions. I literally have already made the decision that gives me the ending. I just got to play through the mission to get the ending. So like I'm legitimately
Jeez.
on the final mission. I don't know. I got distracted. It's still a great game. It's just I don't know. Not anything special. All right, moving on to the next bit of information. Todd Howard talking about Starfield says that you will not be able to fly seamlessly from space from planet to planet. Apparently, that's just not really. It's really just not that important. He says. So I'm guessing you like travel to the areas. It's much. It's It reminds me honestly what he's talking about here. It reminds me a little bit of like Lego Star Wars in a way. Like you travel to the areas and then you can kind of fly around from there. What do you think? Because he says, people have asked, can you fly the ship straight down to the planet? He says, no. We decided early in the project that the on surface is one reality and then the in space is another reality. What do you think?
I don't think it's that big of a problem. It will be, I mean, depending, I hope they utilize the Series X and obviously PC's SSDs to its fullest strength and actually give because I think that would be the thing that makes it a make or break or an annoyance throughout the game is not having a seamless space to planet thing, kind of like how No Man's Sky finally added after a while. Um, I think it's not a big deal. It just depends on how screens. If it's like bam bam, like just like what, like kind of like Spider-Man Miles Morales, where you just go like it's just like almost instant, then it honestly won't be that big of a deal, in my opinion. But it just really that's the thing that's gonna make it a little frustrating because if you're the whole point of Starfield, from what I could tell, is you go to a lot of different planets. So if you're exiting the planet, then flying, then entering a planet, you have to watch two loading screens. So is it going to be quick, or how long is it going to be? Is it going to be like GTA 5 long screens? Is it, or is it going to be way quicker? That's the big thing that I'm wondering. Because I think that won't be that big of a deal if it's super short loading screens.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. Like we've seen, you do fly around. Well, okay. Well, in terms of loading screens, like it better not be long. I mean, this is the PS5 and the Xbox Series X that we're talking about. Like, these games can load ridiculously quickly. Like, if Horizon can load in 1 second, this game, because while theoretically, like, yeah, there's a lot of plants and all that, it doesn't have to load all them in at the same time. It's got to load separate things. This game better be able to load in maybe 20 seconds tops. They better not be very long loading screens. We're not talking about Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PS4 loading here. It better not be that. So it better be quick, or else I'm gonna be a little bit let down. But yeah, I mean, I don't need planet to planet. I'm in my head. I'm kind of like, you can fly around like the individual planets or the individual systems, and then you pick where to go next, and it's kind of like this little cutscene. It's very akin to did you ever play Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda? Like, you can fly around the kind of systems there, and then when you select a different system, I just realized I asked you a question and then just fucking went on without answering.
I was like, it's okay.
Sorry. My bad. Go on. What'd you say? Yes, no.
I have
yes.
played
Okay.
Andromeda.
So yeah, like when
Yes.
you travel to a different system, it has like that cutscene of you kind of like warping or light speeding to that system. I think that would be kind of cool, and then it allows you to fly around the planet and do other, because we've seen flying, like it was in the trailer. We've seen flying, we've seen fighting, so there is that in there. So I think it's perfectly fine, and honestly, I would rather prefer if, like, I could just get to where I'm going super quickly without having to like fly through space for 10, 15 minutes at a time. I'd rather just pull up a menu, say go to this system, and then be able to fly around that planet or that system freely. That's where I think, at least.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean that basically is what they're doing. It seems like they're, yeah, I mean it's going to be just a lot more. Like you can actually control the ship. There is one thing I do kind of hope they do, and that I've heard this on some other videos I've watched. Is that when you're in space, I kind of hope you can like, so some people have theories that when you go into space, you become the ship, so you can't like get out of the driver's seat and walk around the ship. I kind of hope that is something that you can do. That'd be super cool. But I don't know. They haven't showed that. They just show that when you go to space, you're flying the ship. They haven't showed that you can actually go, other than when you're landed on a planet, is if you can actually, explore your ship and everything, and mess with things inside your ship. So I'm kind of hoping, like, when you actually are in space, you could stop driving, get out of the driver's seat, and walk around your ship. I kind of hope that's one thing you can do, because that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
And that's it, by the way. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if I need to walk around my ship. I think just being able to customize it and edit it from. Well, okay, I guess if I'm customizing and editing something, I want to be able to see it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. We'll see how everything's put together. Like, that's what I don't know. Like, if the game is put together in a way that makes sense and is digestible and it's progressive in a way that I don't really feel the need to like walk around my ship in like a minute, detailed capacity, then I think that'll be fine. Or if the game is kind of segmented in a way that it doesn't flow very well, and I want to do something in between the missions, and that something could be walk around my ship, maybe have to go to the world map to like travel or something like that, or if it's all just menu based. So we'll see. I don't know. Next portion, as long as we're done with the flying. You good over there?
Yep.
All right, next portion of information. He said Starfield's main quest is about 20% bigger than the previous Bethesda games such as Skyrim and Fallout, meaning it should take you around 30 to 40 hours to complete the story without stepping away to do side content. I don't know who the hell beats these games in less than 30 or 40 hours, but cool, I guess so. He goes on to say that the game's main story is longer than normal due to the sheer number of quests. The ones end up a little bit longer, and we may tune that some still. It's more quests, so it might be 20% more than our previous ones, he says. So yeah, it says here, some people are beating Skyrim in 25 and a half hours. Who the hell beats Skyrim in 25 and a half hours?
Dude, it's just like this other video I was watching the other day where Tsushima in 20 hours.
It's like oh, it wasn't a video, but I know this guy who beat Horizon in 24 hours.
Yeah, I wonder who that is.
Yeah, fucking weird people, man. I tell you, there's these
I
gamers
know.
out there
Come
that
on now.
just yeah, they're just small outcrop of gamers that just don't really love video games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Oh God! Hey, you opened me up to that dig, so thank you.
That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah. So yeah, you being weirded out by beating Ghost of Tsushima in 20 hours is the same thing as me being confused how you beat Horizon in 24 hours. It's the same thing.
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, what do you think about the length here?
Oh, that's great. I mean, that's just the main. That's insane. Which I mean, that's not even the fact that there's going to be side quests, and then that's not even either the exploration of 1,000 planets or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty insane. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think, as I said, all this sounds good. It all sounds great. The game looks good. Um, hopefully the guns have an impact at launch. We'll see. But yeah, so like I said in the Xbox Games Showcase review, which you can go and listen to our opinions on everything that Xbox showed on youtube.com/experience point. You can find that video there. Nice little plug. Or you can go to our Patreon page at XPIERENCEPOINT. Anyway, yes, I'm very excited about all this. So I had to plug everything there, you know?
Yeah, that's good. You're good.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm watching this video here, and while I don't think the character designs look as good as people may have wanted them to look, I feel like the world design and everything else is going to look a lot better. Now, whether it runs good, who the fuck knows? We have no clue yet. But in a game like this, graphics aren't everything. They are something, but it's not everything. Like the faces in Skyrim aren't that impressive, but the world is super impressive. And then like, your character's armor and everything is very impressive. Like that's why I walk around the game in third person and I don't walk around the game in first person. I combat in first person, but I explore the game in third person. So we'll see. I'm very excited. One more piece of info. Starfield will have 4 main cities, and the biggest of those cities, being called New Atlantis, is the biggest city Bethesda has ever made. Which honestly isn't that impressive, because like if you think about it, like Skyrim cities aren't like massive in terms of like other games we played, and Fallout like Megatown isn't really that big. Like if you think about like Novigrad from like The Witcher 3, like dwarfs anything that Bethesda has built in terms of city size and all that. But either way, cool. I'm glad we're gonna have some big cities, 4 main cities. New Atlantis is an awesome name for a space city. That's badass. And we'll see how big they really are and how in depth they are, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, they haven't really made like super crazy huge towns, at least not yet. So this, if it's, I mean, it can't be that much bigger, I guess. We'll see. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I hope there's some really big ones. I don't expect a ton of super huge cities, but I hope there's at least like 3, maybe 4 really big cities, and then some smaller cities. Um, but yeah, that's great. That's good news. And again, I hope there's a lot of detail and depth to like like people doing stuff around the city. Maybe a lot of side quests and stuff. That'd be pretty cool.
Before we move off Starfield, I wanted to ask you one thing. There's a lot of debate going around the internet right now on Reddit and other things. Do you believe, Mr. Birdman, that we will get to visit Earth in this game?
No,
You don't?
I don't think so.
Do you think we'll even be able to visit our own solar system?
Uh, I don't. I honestly no. I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna go for just using our solar system. I think it's all gonna be fantasy. So I that's what I believe.
Okay, so you believe it's going to be a completely made up universe and not set in our universe, just a futuristic take on our universe. But the fact that the biggest city is called New Atlantis leads me to believe that Atlantis has some stake in the world. Or why would they call it New Atlantis, you know?
I mean, that's fair.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
maybe Earth will be in there, but maybe Earth destroyed, possibly.
Yeah, maybe Earth's like
I don't know.
like uninhabitable, and you can visit it to like go get some resources or something. Or maybe
Yeah.
you just. Well, no, he said you can land on every planet, right?
Yes, you can land on any planet anywhere on the planet, not just specific points.
Which
So,
I still think is total bullshit, but or
yeah,
like
I want to see
they're
how
gonna
well it
gamify
works.
that some they're gonna gamify that some way. Like yes, you can technically land anywhere, but like there's maybe like 4 or 5 different like starting areas that you explore for that zones that you explore for those for each and every planet. So still probably be impressive, but yeah, I don't think you can like just land and like explore like a Horizon style map for each planet, you know?
Yeah.
Which I don't expect to. I don't even know if that's feasibly possible in today's modern landscape. So, all right, story number. Oh, sorry. And before we move on, anything else you want to say about Starfield?
No.
No, you good? You clean?
Yep.
You ready for it? You excited?
Oh, I'm very excited for the game.
I
I
realized
I literally cannot wait.
I realized earlier I said PS5. Definitely not going to PS5. So that was my bad.
No, yeah, I just thought you were just comparing SSD
I
speeds and
was
stuff. You're just
I
saying, yeah,
I
so
was in general just comparison. It's like this is the next gen, the modern SSDs. But I realized, someone's gonna be like, it's not coming to PS5, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I know, fucker, F
yeah.
off. But all right, moving on to the next story. Story number 15. One more thing about Bethesda that I just kind of thought was funny and kind of endearing. Bethesda has confirmed that Fallout 5 is coming after Elder Scrolls 6. Cool, dude. Why don't you try making one fucking game first? Like,
I
why,
know, right?
why don't you just release the first one? You've already announced Elder Scrolls 6. Now you're saying, hey, after Elder Scrolls 6, after Elder Scrolls 6, Fallout 5. It's like, yeah, we probably most of us knew that, but why don't you just finish the first one and then stop talking about things that are gonna come out on the PlayStation. Well, I guess nothing's gonna come on PlayStation. On Xbox, fucking 890. I don't know. Whatever the hell they call the next one. It's
Maybe
crazy.
they're gonna release them all within this generation. That would be pretty insane.
Yeah, he says. Yeah. Speaking of Ryan McCaffrey, Howard confirmed that Fallout 5 will be the next game after the Elder Scrolls 6, which itself has entered pre-production. Yes, Elder Scrolls 6 is in pre-production, and we're going to be doing Fallout 5 after that. So our plate's pretty full going forward for a while.
Jeez.
Oh, no shit, Sherlock. I swear, Todd Howard, I love the man, but sometimes he says the dumbest shit ever. Like the new
That
thing
is true.
is, like the new thing that he said with Starfield is like, we just wanted to say yes. If a player asks, can you do it? Just say yes. Hey, can you fly seamlessly? No. Well, there you go. Fucking
No.
Todd Howard.
Yes.
Fucking Todd Howard, folks, ladies and oh god, video
Or
game developers are
did they
fun.
ask? Can you not fly seamless? Yes.
All right. Next story, story number 16. We're almost done here on Around the Point, but this one's something that's kind of cool for me. Sony, not PlayStation, has officially been rumored to be bringing a new lineup of gaming peripherals, and apparently we're going to learn about them pretty soon. Sony has announced a new showcase of the product lineup called InZone, and the rumors are we're going to get 3 new headsets, 2 new gaming monitors dedicated to PS5, and then there's also a separate rumor that is somewhere out there is an official PS5 Pro controller on the way. Oh, sorry, PS5 DualSense Pro. Oh my God, Dual ProSense controller. Fuck me. On the way. Logan, what do you think about any of this? I have some more information, but I wanted to get your initial aspects first and foremost.
um. I mean, it'd be cool to see a monitor, see how that is going. I guess Pro controller would be pretty cool, as long as they can keep in, their the neural dual sense. The I can't I think of it right now. My brain's you know what I mean. The DualSense vibration,
The
the
features.
real features, yes, HD rumble or whatever. Yeah, I hope they keep
Adaptive
all that in
triggers.
there. But
Well,
yeah,
of
that'd
course
be
they will.
pretty cool to see. I wonder how it'll look. I'll be really curious to see that. But yeah, I wonder what the monitor is going to be too. Like,
So the
how are they going
rumored
to make
is
that look?
there's some more information. Is the rumor is one monitor will be a 4K 144 hertz monitor dedicated to PlayStation 5 feature set, and the other monitor will be a 1080p 240 hertz monitor dedicated to the PS5 feature set. So it still sounds like we're not
Okay.
getting 1440p anytime soon, which is kind of annoying. But and then the
It's really
headsets. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you're good. I was just gonna say that's really weird. Still don't
Yeah.
accept, you know,
Dumbass decision,
1440p.
but whatever. And then the rumor are there's gonna shit, drop the cup. Luckily for me, there wasn't anything in it, unlike somebody. The
Yeah.
rumor the rumored headsets are 3 different ones, all under the H branding: H3, H7, and H9. One of them will be a wired one. The other one will be wireless with a super big amount of functionality and features, and then the last one, the highest one, will have everything that the 7 does, but include ANC. For these who don't know, ANC is active noise cancellation. So I'm pretty excited. If they do announce a new line of headsets, you know me, I'm getting a new headset. So, like, that's who I am. I love my headsets. I have literally headsets all around my freaking gaming room at all time. They're just randomly placed places. So, and if they do come out with a 4K monitor, that would be pretty sick because I've been looking for a monitor. I want to move my PlayStation into my gaming room so I have everything all in one room. That would be really, really cool, especially at 4K. Now we'll see what the pricing is. It's probably going to be super expensive because it's Sony, especially on the monitors. The monitor side of things. Headsets will probably be relatively reasonably priced. Sony normally stays reasonably priced with their headsets, so we'll see. We'll see what this all looks like.
Is
Hopefully,
a
it's cool looking.
monitor is a monitor gonna? Do you know if it's any fact that supporting VRR? You would think that would be one of the new things too. They would want to put in their monitors.
Well, it says it supports the full PS5 feature set, so yeah. I mean,
Okay.
VRR yeah. And also say, yeah. So it says information also says the in-zone monitor duo will feature FPS counters, HDR, and other premium additions aimed at enthusiasts and pro console gaming. So there's also a whole bunch of rumors that are said to include obviously Sony's proprietary display technology, including its cognitive processor, autofocus scenes, changes contrast and lighting based off what's happening in the TV. Apparently, it's being designed to work in tandem with the PS5. So,
Hmm.
anything else you got to see? Because the
Yeah,
last stories.
but yeah, I don't have anything really to say. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I'm excited. I think it's cool. I think it's. I wish the controller was confirmed, like we just had a pro controller, because I want a pro controller. But it is, if the rumors to believe, it exists, but it's not going to be a part of this. It'll be a more PlayStation detail. Since this is more Sony doing a thing, it's not a PlayStation event, which is dumb, but whatever. They're Japanese. They do weird shit sometimes. I love them, but they do weird shit sometimes. So, um,
That's fair.
moving on to a final story. This is just a fun one that I threw in because I thought it was humorous and entertaining. Humorous and entertaining. The Nerf company, the Nerf guns, has a new mascot, and this fucker is creepy. Have you seen this picture?
I have not. No.
Go ahead and pull up the article and look at this fucking creepy ass mascot. He looks like an anthropomorphic character, and he's made out of hundreds of Nerf darts.
Murph. They named him Murph.
Yeah, Nerf.
Okay, I gotta say that's pretty cool though. That I like how this has nothing to do with it, but they showed they have a Boba Fett Nerf gun. Dude, that looks super cool. Yeah, that's horrifying looking.
That's
Why?
awful. Apparently
Why?
has no sex or gender, so I guess they're trying to be political with this. So cool on them, I guess, if that's the way they want to do. Outside of any of that politicalness, I don't really care about any of that stuff. This fucker looks weird. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, he looks super weird.
I don't know who designed this, who said, hey, we need to create a new mascot. All right, ideas. Number 1, let's just create a man made out of Nerf darts.
Yeah.
Cool, let's go with that. Apparently his catchphrase is "Unleash the play in you," which is also creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Ugh. But you're all right. That Boba Fett blaster looks hype. I might actually get that. That looks cool shit. I had a
Yeah, they
good
had a.
collection. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say they also had one for the Mandalorian and it was super cool.
I used to have a good collection of Nerf stuff, but when Peyton and I moved out of the West End one, which is I think before. No, I guess you came over to the house a couple times. Anyway, there's one where we lived out with Shane and Logan. I think I left them in the closet upstairs because I'm dumb, but
Oh.
whatever, that's fine. All right, anything else you got to say about Murph the Nerf?
No.
No. I just thought it was funny. For those of you out there who are wondering what we're looking at, please look up Murph the Nerf and be terrified for approximately 5 seconds and then move on with your life like I did. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of Around the Point here in this extended stay on the XP podcast. Anything else you got to say, Logan, about anything we talked about?
No.
All right. Well, if you guys out there have anything to say, any reactions, or anything else you want to talk about for Around the Point, please send us a message on YouTube or on Patreon, and we will read it. We will get back to you, and maybe we'll make it a part of an episode moving forward and talk about it. Moving on now, we're going to go to the review roundup for the last 2 weeks. A lot of big games here. One that I'm super fucking pissed off about, but that's okay. Shit happens sometimes. The review roundup now. June 16th saw the release of Neon White on Switch and PC, and it scored an 88. Redout 2 came out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC and got a 79. Starship Trooper Terran Command came out on PC and got a 72. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge came out and got an 87. I'm mad. Zoro the Chronicles came out and got a 43. Final Vendetta came out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC and got a 69. Horror Q and Friends, whatever the fuck that is, came out on Nintendo Switch and got a 60. Then Ali World Void Raiders came out on Xbox Series X and S, PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC and got an 86. That's week 1. Want to stop so I can take a breath? Logan, any reactions to week 1 of the review roundup?
No, not really. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that's like really. I mean, it's cool to see TMT got a really good score though.
Which I knew
That's
it was
pretty
going
cool.
to, which is annoying, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It is what it is. No, cool for Neon White. That was a game that got announced. I believe it was a part of one of the. Well, not believe. I know it was a part of one of the Summer Game Fest, and I believe it was future game shows that DJ and I talked about that looked pretty cool. I did not know it was releasing essentially immediately. But yeah, 88. I've seen a lot of people start talking about that game, saying it's really cool. So I might go check it out. And then TMNT, I will play. It's a game Peyton and I plan on playing together. She wants to experience a beat 'em up, so that's probably gonna be super frustrating for me. But we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I'm going to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Haven't got a chance to do it yet. Mostly because I don't want to really. It's like $30. I don't really want to spend that
Oh
for.
yeah, Neon White. I forgot. Yeah, that game does look really cool. Huh. Yeah.
It does indeed. All right, moving on to week 2 of the review roundup on June 21st. Shadowrun Trilogy came out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch. Not official score yet, but it does have 2 reviews at 80 and 1 review at 70 on OpenCritic. Wreckfest came out on Switch. No official reviews, but it did score an 81 on PS4 last year when it came out. Deliver Us the Moon came out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and the same thing, no official reviews, but it got a 68 on PC in 2020, a 76 on Xbox One in 2021, and now in 2022 it comes out on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Naraka Blade Point finally saw its launch on Xbox Series X and X and scored a 71. Gordian Quest came out on PC, got an 82. Sonic Origins saw its release on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and X, Switch, and PC, and got it a 78. Capcom Fighting Collections came out on PlayStation consoles, Xbox consoles, Switch, and PC, and got a 79. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes came out on Switch and saw an 80. And then Pocky and Rocky Reshine came out on PS5, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and got a 79. Logan, what do you think about week 2, sir?
Um, this week. Uh, uh, nah, I don't know. Nothing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I liked the game Wreckfest. I played it quite a bit on PS5 a little earlier this year. Maybe it was late last year. I don't remember. It was one of those two. It's a pretty fun game if you like racing games. It's a different game. Enjoyable overall. Sonic Origins, if you like the original Sonic games, that game is now out. I heard it's an okay remaster of those games. Apparently, there's some drama with the director and you know the Sega itself that the director put stuff in the game that Sega just took out without his knowledge. So apparently there's some drama going on with that. Who knows? Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Hopes, the next game, the next Muso game in Nintendo's pocket, seems to be getting really good reviews. Looks pretty cool. And don't know what the fuck Pocky and Rocky is, but that's a cool name to say. So, do you ever play any of the Muso games? Like the fighting
Like the
games.
Fire Warrior things.
Yeah, the Fire Emblem Warriors, the Legend of Zelda Warriors, or the Hyrule Warriors games. You ever played any
I
of those
was
games?
gonna play the Hyrule Warrior, but then I played the demo and absolute garbage. Like I don't get that. That's why, like when we talked about the whole Nintendo scare thing, like I don't get where people keep saying that none of their actual games run bad because literally Hyrule Warriors runs at like a solid 22 FPS the entire time. It is bad. Like I wanted to actually play that game. I was actually kind of excited for it because it looked kind of fun. And it still was kind of fun, but the style game and all the fighting and everything, it's just not fun when it's running at like 20 FPS the entire time.
Yeah,
It's not enjoyable at all. Like it's not even if it was like a straight 30 FPS, it would be a lot better, but it's not. It's like 20 FPS. It's dropping constantly. And I'm happy I never went to get it because yeah, I tried the demo and I was instantly disappointed in the game.
and I will tell you, playing Mafia at 30 FPS was a little rough too.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, I really wish that game would get a port. Which again, I don't know why it doesn't. It came out 2 months before the consoles came out, but whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, out this week, well, for both actually this week and next week for both the week of oh my god, for both the upcoming weeks on June 28th, the Sega 6 Complete Edition comes out on PS5, PS4, and PC. DNF Duel comes out on PS5, PS4, and PC. Escape Academy comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and X, and PC. Phobia Saint Dinfina's Hotel, whatever that is, comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, PC. MX vs. ATV Legends comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, and PC. Then June 30th, apparently it's the DLC day, June 30th. Cuphead, the Delicious Last Course DLC, comes out on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak comes out on Nintendo Switch and PC. And Outriders World Slayer comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, apparently Stadia, and PC. Then the next week, July 1st, sees the release of F1 2022 on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. July 7th comes out Match Point Tennis Championship. Comes out PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Switch, and PC. X and S, Switch and PC, sorry, missed one. And then on July 8th, Arcadegeddon comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. Corona Fantasy Revere Series comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. And then Madison comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. Logan, what do you think about DLC Day? Dude, they're all
DLC day.
DLC.
Yeah, that's well Cuphead's basically a whole nother game, but they call it a DLC.
To be fair,
But
Sunbreak's also like a whole nother game, and apparently so is World Slayer. So
yeah.
they're like expansion. I guess expansion day. Let's call it expansion day.
I'm not really that excited for any of these to be honest. Um yeah. I mean, I've always wanted to get into the Monster Hunter games, but it's just like I don't know.
They're very
Also, I feel like
Japanese.
Monster Hunter games are just being released left and right lately. Can't keep up with them.
Not
Like I
really.
literally feel like since Monster, there's been what they came out with this one. They came out with one literally like what, last year?
Well, there's those other
Another Monster
ones
Hunter?
that are more like storybook narrative games. There's the Monster Hunter story games, which those aren't really like your open world games. What's the fucking book games? Games with pretty much visual novels. Sorry, there we go. Like visual novel games, Monster Hunter stories, I believe. I could be completely wrong, but they're not like the regular Monster Hunter games. But yeah, it's just been Monster Hunter World and the Monster Hunter Rise are the true Monster Hunter games that come out since PS4 came out.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, it just feels like there's a lot. I don't know. I can't keep up. I also don't know between any of them because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
So I thought they were all just kind of the same thing because I played World a little bit. I tried to get into it. It's just not really as fun as I was expecting it to be because everyone really hyped it up to be like one of the greatest things ever. I played it and I got really bored because it's like it just seems very, very, very slow paced, the game. So yeah.
Slow pace the game. That should be the name for a game.
Yeah,
Um,
slow paced the game.
Slow pace the game. I'd love to play it. For those of you out there that don't know, Arcade-ageddon is actually a free game on PlayStation Plus next month, so it's launching day and date with PlayStation Plus. If you wanted to give it a chance, I believe it's like a car crash game. I think I could be wrong. Look that up for me, so I don't sound super dumb. I guess I already sound
What is
super
it?
dumb. Arcade-ageddon. I
Oh,
guess I
let me see that
already
one.
sound super dumb because I've made what I thought it was, and if it's not that, then it's confirmed me be dumb. But we'll
Yeah.
see. What is it?
Definitely is not a car crash
Damn.
game. No.
Damn. I thought I
It
had it.
is it looks like a shooter.
Hmm.
Yeah. It looks really bad.
Oh, does it? Oh, it's done by Ilphonic.
Yeah.
Ilphonic is the guys that
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cooperative and competitive multiplayer shooter.
yeah, well
Yeah.
Ilphonic are the guys that did Friday the 13th and the new Predator game. I might give it a look just because it's arcade
Well, the
again.
Predator game wasn't that great either.
Well,
I
neither one
would
of
put
them
that
was
as a
that
good
great,
example.
but we'll see.
Yeah.
Co-op multiplayer shooter allows you and up to 3 friends to explore multiple biomes, complete mini games, find hidden chests, and battle enemies. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna buy it. Why not buy it? I'm gonna download it when it comes out for free. You should get it, dude. You should try it. Oh wait, you don't have PlayStation Plus because you're a weirdo.
I actually do.
I thought you said you didn't have it when we tried to play.
Well, I didn't, but now I do.
Oh my god, you're so fucking confusing. I swear. All right, anything else you gotta say?
Nope.
No, nothing. Nothing on anything else. Sure.
No, not really.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was just stalling to type something in, but ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our show. Everyone who's either been watching or listening, we just want to take this time and thank you from the bottom of our endless souls. Without your support, we could not do what we're attempting to do here at the Experience Point. But please help us continue to grow by going to our YouTube page, going to our Patreon page, commenting on videos, liking videos, watching said videos, letting us know what you think of the videos, and letting everybody else know around you what you think of the videos. And we would really appreciate that if you can do that for us. Logan, any last words?
Yep. As just like any other video, appreciate you guys stopping by. Hope everybody's having a great day. It's summertime, so let's go. Uh, this is also the perfect time to start catching up on old games and everything, as Mike and me have said. I've been slowly getting done with my list of games that need to be completed by the end of the year. So yeah, good times. And as always, as of course, we would like to say thanks to our Patreon Platinum members, Logan Leffler. Really appreciate it. Really do appreciate the support, even if it's like $1 or anything. You don't really have to support us because, as always, also we appreciate you guys coming by, stop by, listen to us. Make sure to give us a like, maybe subscribe. And as always, have a good one.
Once again, thanks everyone for listening and following along with us along this beautiful journey of ours. I hope everyone has a great week, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one. See you guys.
See ya.